Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Eternal Challenger League Season 5 Qualifier number 2. Today we have another day of heated competition between some very serious players. I believe we had over 65 people in today's tournament, and here you're looking at top 3. Our 4th player is still actually in their match in progress, so it's TBD there on the bottom. But as far as our top 4 goes, we do have Outer Region, Inti, Odium, Vios, and then again, the last player is going to be the winner of Hel Nal and Tank. So welcome, my friends. Hope you're all doing well. It's going to be quite a serious day, like I said, of competition. Very excited. Now, as far as last week goes, if we look at the player list, Talaxel and Soothsayer, no surprise there, was the first individual to qualify for the Eternal Challenger League Season 5 Grand Finals. And certainly had a very convincing run last week. I believe he had a 3-1 victory in the finals. Some very close games for sure, but yeah, Soothsayer, ever the tyrant. TBD is playing today. That's to be determined. So let's head back on up to the scorecards here. In our first match of the day, it's going to be Inti against Outer Region. Inti is going to be on Warriors of Chaos facing off against the Beastmen, who shall be led by Outer Region. So I would imagine it's going to be some spawn-on-spawn action, some Minotaurs, some Dragon Ogre Shaggoths, or maybe Inti does like to use Marauder Horsemen, so it could be a massive horde of those bad boys, and that could be quite interesting to see for sure. It's not my birthday, but thank you guys for the wishes. I do appreciate it. I understand the gesture. It's very kind-hearted. It's been my birthday apparently for a week now. It's going to be a fun week though, guys. Man, on Saturday we have the Ever-Chosen Invitational. That's going to be coming up. Obviously you're going to be seeing some familiar faces, previous Ever-Chosen champions, some new challengers as well. Current format with the Ever-Chosen Invitational, of course, is to invite back the top 4 from the previous Ever-Chosen and then get 4 new players in. But we have some exciting news about the future of Ever-Chosen stuff as well down the road. All right, so everything looks perfect, making sure there's no screen blocker. Yes, and here we go. Oh, guys, also, Daniel, speaking of, tomorrow, I'm going to be putting up, at some point tomorrow or Friday morning, I'm going to be putting up a video with all the details regarding the Ever-Chosen, the players, the maps, all that sort of good stuff. And you guys will get the chance to see my mullet, like the actual mullet. It's happening. Yeah, I'm so excited. I managed to find a way to get the mullet cut, so, man, I don't have it yet. I'm going to have it tomorrow morning. So for those of you who want me to show it right now, I do not have the mullet quite yet. But tomorrow morning, around 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I should have a glorious mullet. So Inti coming in with Warriors of Chaos. He's got 4 Horsemen, which are, of course, are pretty good against Giants, Minotaurs, counter-skirmishing Centaurs with Throwing Axes. For the rest of his build, it's going to be Marauders and Spawn, backed up by some Forsaken, actually. Chaos Warhounds, a Shaggoth, and Big Bird. I actually like it. Yeah, the Forsaken pick. I'm very eager to see how these guys do in this matchup. They're pretty quick and actually can cut through like Centaurs and do some decent damage against like Spawn and Minotaurs. They hit very hard. 58 weapon strength is no joke. But still kind of a janky unit. So Centaurs with Throwing Axes here for Outer Region. Frontline here for the Beastmen is going to be Spears. Standard stuff. Ungor Spear frontlines are just always pretty much the go-to. Morkrid the Shadow gave us some summons. A Shadowcaster, so actually very rare here. Outer Region not going to be summoning any stuff. Like normally with Beastmen you just see summon abuse. You see Cygor summons and Manticore summons. But in this case, he's got a Ray Shaman of Shadows, a Gorbel, Butchers of Kalkengard, and the Eye of Morsleep here in the back with the Giants. So certainly a lot of hard-hitting elite Beastmen troops, and you can really see that reflected in the fact that Outer Region has a very chaffy front line of a couple like Ungor Spearman herds and things like that. So nothing too crazy. But yeah, guys, we're going to get this party started in just a second. I'm just getting everything pulled up here. Looks good to me. And the players can start whenever they're ready. And the battle is underway. Centaurs with Throwing Axes are lurking in the tree line quite happily. You can see they're just going to be pouncing out. Throwing Axes will be pretty good against Shaggoths. That's definitely going to be their strength. I think he's going to want to keep the Centaurs like behind the battle lines though. Chaos does have the mobile advantage. They have a ton of horsemen, which could overwhelm these 2 units if they're not careful. So definitely got to watch out for that. Yes, I'll finally ascend to the Mullet Throne. No, Chapter Master, you are just on time. We're just starting our first match of the day. So Centaurs are Throwing Axes, doing a little bit of skirmishing. Eye of Morsleep throwing its boulders at the Forsaken. Looks like 1 Forsaken has been taken out so far, but the Eye of Morsleep also has a snare effect, which makes it really good. So for example, if some of the Throwing Axes get like too close, or Marauder Horsemen, excuse me, he can snare him down with the Eye of Morsleep and like countercharge if he had his own Centaurs or something like that, which is quite cool. Nonetheless, Chaos is advancing. Chaos comes. Marauder Horsemen going to be throwing their bolts here into the Ungor Spearman herds in the front, which are not shielded. They just have Spearmen, just kind of the bare bones cheapo ones. And the Cygor Boulder, oh, brutal stuff, just tearing through those Forsaken, taking out 9 models, but more importantly, doing some massive HP damage. So in the back, you can see Marauder Horsemen circling, trying to get around and maybe start throwing at the Butchers of Kalkengard with the Cygor. Cygor Boulder going pretty hard in the paint, able to hit those Chaos Marauders, put them down about 12 models from their starting amount, which is good. Maximilian, oh god, don't do that, man. Do not summon the Slanesh bots. They've been banished to the warp, never to return. But it looks like he's still focusing on the side, on the Forsaken, maybe. No, actually, it looks like Outer Region is actually switching. And yeah, delaying the frontline engagement for him is definitely a good idea. The Warriors of Chaos, I'm a little bit concerned for this Beastman army. I feel like the Ungor Spearman lines are just going to be wrecked so horribly, and then the throwing axes or the throwing spears and the Shaggoth and plus Big Bird are going to be able to beat the monsters. But he's going to be sending in the Gorbel and Butchers of Kalkengard, both of which are very good against large. So all it's going to take is like one slip up here for Chaos, and this could be it. Gorbel charging in, Butchers of Kalkengard as well. Looks like there is going to be some sort of witchcraft. The spawn summon used in the back, and Warp Gaze as well. Nice catch there. Anticity's Dragon Ogre Shaggoth is really in a bad place here. But there is going to be a response from Big Bird. Going to be using the final transmutation, it looks like, and hitting. Yeah, hits the Giant, hits the Eye of Morsleep, hits pretty much everything in this pocket. So that was a very, very good final transmutation. However, the Dragon Ogre needs to get out here. That would be a huge loss for Anticity here. But like I said, the spawn and the Chaos Marauders just wreck that front line. They're just going swiggity swooty, running all over that Beastman booty. And you can see the Ungor Spearman herds on the back being chased off. This Gorbel here on the far side is actually double Gorbel. Is it? No, I think it's just a single Gorbel. I don't know how he got over there so quickly, but let's not ask questions. But the Gorbel's taken a little bit of a beating as well from the spawn and Forsaken. A nice piercing bolt's going down from Anticity, able to kind of wreck up that spear line. Oh no, but a little bit of a slip up here from Anticity. His Marauder Horseman somehow got surrounded by spears and Centaurs and archers. Maybe he sent them in to actually take out the Ungor archers or at least slow them down, but so far it's looking like it's actually going pretty well for the forces of the Beastmen. Oh, Gorbel gets punted! Still the ping pong ball! Man, he flew so far! Man, that's crazy, but the reason why it's going so well for the Beastmen is because the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, of course, is pushed back here, but you have to remember the Bounce Fire is very heavily falsely inflated. There's 2 spawn summons on the battlefield, so when they disappear, even when the Beastmen don't want to go with the summoning build, they still have the summons, obviously, with Morker the Shadowgate, who's pretty much the go-to competitive pick. But Anticity is able to get his Marauder Horseman throwing quite happily, and the Gorbel's kind of getting worked on, which is how the Warriors of Chaos pulled this game back. You can also see the Eye of Morsleep is hit with the Transmutation of Lead and is being torn apart by Chaos Spawn and Forsaken. And yeah, good missile attacks into the Gorbel as well. Somehow Big Bird's just dunking his KFC wings all over this guy. Very, very solid for sure. In the back, the Beastmen are rallying some forces. They have some Ungor Spearmen herds, some archers coming back online, and it looks like some Centaurs with throwing axes are going to be chasing down those Marauder Horsemen, but really this is kind of the epicenter of the fight. And yeah, breaking Gorbel is quite strong, and the spawn summons are still here for a moment. I believe this one will be probably disappearing in the next like 20, 30 seconds, give or take, maybe a little bit sooner. Probably underestimated that. And yes, they're on their second tier of summons. And something that's a little bit scary for Chaos is, you know, their anti-large is in the form of the Horsemen, and the Eye of Morsleep, I guess, is still somewhat healthy, or it's still going strong. And it looks like here, oh, a nice pendulum right there. It does go through the Forsaken and tears through some of the spawn here, but of course it will not do too much against like single entities and things like that. And the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth was able to stabilize. He's steady, and now coming in for the break. This is really big. Eye of Morsleep being broken off is quite nasty. The Butchers of Kalkengard are down to 2 models, and now it's pretty much going to be Morker, some spawn, and a Giant versus the world, because Anticity really has the mobile stopping power, with the Forsaken and the spawn and the Horsemen just kind of overwhelming many positions. In the back, as a matter of fact, Chaos Marauders are able to do a really good job against those Beastmen forces. And it does look like Anticity is pulling ahead, and I think he has plenty to kill the Giant, I suppose. Ammunition on these Marauder Horsemen is about, not much, but it should be enough to bring that Giant down to a manageable amount. He does also have some more Marauder Horsemen here, 38 models, which are very healthy. So yeah, at this point, Chaos is just probably going to be able to kite the Giants out, chase down, you know, all the other high-value assets, and then from there just wear it down. You know, Morker's going to be tough, though. The spawn are fighting to the end. There's only 2 spawn left. Yeah, the Gorbel flying around, always a hero of the people. Yeah, 1 spawn now. Chaos Spawn are so good. Man, my eyes have been open to those guys. The eye has opened. I've been using spawn in like all my Chaos builds. They're just so damn solid. Same with the Beastmen, too. Really, really good unit. Used to be terrible, too, which is funny. So the Bray Shaman doing a little bit of cycle charging. There still is a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. Centaurs with throwing axes from Outer Region are doing well. I wonder what he's got in the back pocket for magic. Probably has some pendulums and enfeebling foes he could perhaps use. Now, if the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth were taken out and somehow the Giant were able to endure all the ammo here from the Marauder Horsemen, there's certainly a chance the Beastmen could win this. The Warp Chicken's okay in combat, but against a Giant, he's going to get clubbed. That chicken will be pulverized. So he definitely doesn't want that engagement. In the meantime here, Centaurs, the throwing axes are coming back in too, so it looks like Outer Region might be able to stabilize this. I really felt like despite the bounce of power, the Beastmen were kind of on the ropes a little bit, because the bounce power does favor the Beastmen right now, and there's no summon, so it's the accurate depiction of the bounce power, but it doesn't always tell the full story of the battle, right? And if these Centaurs can keep outmaneuvering, and oh, that's why there's some spawn coming in. Ooh, that's tough. Anticity actually has 8 Chaos Spawn here. That's going to be a lot for these monsters to get through here. Those spawn are unbreakable and take forever to bring down. Really good maneuvering, though, from Outer Region. He is able to get around and kind of turn the bend a little bit. In the meantime, Centaurs using their ammo to kind of bring down some of these Marauder Horsemen. And yeah, it looks like the Beastmen might stabilize, honestly. Morker the Shadowgate still healing, too, and by the time the final battle starts, I think there's going to be a little bit of a jockeying for position and skirmishing here. Morker will have healed up a little bit. So the Centaurs have charged in here, throwing axes, getting a little bit of shock damage. They have okay combat stats. 27 melee attack, charge bonus is a whopping 32. So they can certainly do some work. Now they're going to be charging back into the Chaos Marauders. Here they come. The mighty Hog, Screaming Hog, wild as it charges in. Grey Shaman Chariots are pretty strong. 80 armor, bonus versus infantry, great AP values. A solid choice against Chaos. In case Chaos goes with some, heavy armor, things like that. Sometimes you'll see like Wild Chosen or Chaos Warriors brought in, but I really think one of the most cost-effective Chaos front lines in like almost, not all matchups, but many matchups is simply just bring Spawn with Marauders. It's just so damn good. The Spawn hits so hard, and I find that they even chew through armor pretty well. Good splash damage, all that sort of good stuff. So the Spawn now chasing some of the Centaurs with throwing axes. A couple of those Chaos creatures themselves do get picked off by the Spawn as they retreat. And yeah, the Spawn might be able to catch him if he's not careful. It looks like he's going to be charging in with the Centaurs. I think that's just a miss micro. I think he was trying to get on top of the Dragon over here. So now Big Bird's coming in for a fight. He's got to watch out, though. He's going to get his goose kicked. Oh, man, but a final transmutation here in the fourth quarter. It's going to be so punishing if he gets that off. Oh, man, it hits the Bray Shaman. It hits the Giant. An Alpha Strike from Anticity's Cav. It hits Morker. That is a Bane backbreaker right there. The Bray Shaman of Shadows gets nuked. He gets pushed off. The Giant takes a massive amount of damage. And just like we kind of predicted, Chaos was able to outlast them here and then just isolate them. And the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth is very low, only 12 leadership. Maybe we want to pull that thing back, but it looks like Centaurs might be able to finish it off here, break it. Yeah, 2 leadership isn't going to stabilize. I think that Anticity does have this, though. The 6 Chaos Spawn are going to be very tough for that Giant to kind of wear down. I mean, he could win in a vacuum, of course, but he's very beat up now. And Morker will probably be taken out by the Spawn and cycle charging from Big Bird. I just don't see how the Beastman can do it. I mean, the Giant is so low. 600, 200 HP. Big Bird was able to get his Pimp Cane in there. Take him out. 240, 220. Down for the count goes the Giant. And now Morker the Shadow gave the classic Beastman situation. He's kind of like the Count Noctiluls of the Beastmen, just standing alone, super tanky and tough to kill, but he is not going to be enough to carry this game. Centaurs the Throwing Axes will try and chase down the Shaggoth, which is a good play. I mean, is there any glimmer of hope? I mean, Big Bird is not a terrible combatant. He's got 60 melee attack. Also does magic damage. Granted, Morker does have magic resist, so I guess that's kind of not good for him, but Morker probably will just like straight up break here. Oh, he's holding on firm, guys. You're a Big Bird for you. I like the Bane reference, man. That's pretty good. But yeah, Morker the Shadow Gave going down. Chaos Spawn are going to be crunching. There's 3 of them left, beating on that light armor of Morker. Centaurs the Throwing Axes, I guess. Maybe want to try and come back and cycle charge to liberate. But yeah, if Morker breaks, the battle's 100% over. And he's wavering. Let's go ahead and see what his leadership is. It's kind of hard to tell. He's very embroiled in combat there. It looks like he was like a 10 for a second. Negative 119. And game 1 is going to be going to Anticity. What a scrap. That was a very well-played game by both players. And honestly, the Beastmen were ahead, both in terms of the actual game and the summons, of course. I thought they were doing very well for themselves, breaking through that Chaos front line. But the skirmishing and the final transmutation trap at the end was enough to win the game. Very well played. Anticity going up 1-0 here in this best of 3. So we'll jump back, update the scoreboard here real quick. And we should be all good to go. All right. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Trap card. Very much so. Very much so, my friend. So again, my friends, welcome to the stream. Hope you're all doing well and staying safe. Another day of streaming. It's going to be a good time for sure. Now for the next map, let's go ahead and set these players up. We will do... I'm trying to remember which one was the good one. Eastern Isles North, I think, was the good one. I can't remember. I don't want to put him on Glacial Lake. That's kind of like... Glacial Lake's one of my favorite maps, but it is kind of a punishment map as well, because it's super small. MP Crossroads is another one we haven't seen in ages. Let's see Pillar Bone. Yeah, Pillar Bone. Outer Region says, oh no, my loss will be televised. Outer Region, you played really well, man. That was a good game. Hold your head up. Hold your head up high. So Hel Nal was able to win on the bottom side of the bracket with a 2-0 victory against Tank. What an impressive performance. Tank certainly a very, very good player. So let's go ahead and go down to the desk. Not the desk, the bracket. And update the TBD. The TBD here is going to be Hel Nal. Hel Nal, of course, got to the grand finals of the last ever chosen. I believe, yeah, I think it was him against Falcon in the grand finals, and it was a 3-1 series, but a lot of the games were like super close. So, yeah, we have Outer Region against Anticity today in the grand finals of the qualifier, and then we have Vios against Hel Nal in our next set of games. So the map is set. So Anticity says he's going Coast, and he's banning High Elves and Dwarves. And Outer Region says, I got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Hey, man, you don't know that yet. I love the reference, but hold that head up high. That was a great game. You could have won that. And Outer Region is going to go with Vampire Count. So the way to do this is to go double Banshee. Yeah. See, even Anticity's hyping him up. He's like, you can get the next 2 wins, man. We don't need a screen blocker here, which is great. So we don't have to worry about that, which is quite the treat. So CS says, hey, anyone, I want to get into Warhammer multiplayer. Just a quick noob question. Are all DLCs needed? No, because you can play against people who have the DLC. You can still play against the DLC stuff. You just can't use it. So I would recommend just finding a couple factions you really like. And then from there, you can simply just get those DLCs. Yeah. So Jay Green, these tournaments are 100% open. Anyone can sign up for them. If somebody in chat could, 1 sec here. All right. 1 second, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get an invite for you folks. So if you guys want to play in these tournaments, they're open to sign up. Anyone can play. There's a link to the Discord. It's spamming my own chat. But if you guys want to play, just, of course, be friendly with everyone and find some practice games, get that experience going. And yeah, you just sign up when I put the posting up. That's it, man. Just got to be in that Discord channel. All right. So we got Vampires on Vampire. This is one that I think historically probably was Vampire Coast favored, but I've seen Tank win this one using Double Banshee. So Double Banshee is super good against crabs and monsters. And Vampire Coast does have Lore of Death, but oftentimes you're going to go Vampires, which doesn't have like a lot of direct magic damage. So Banshees and Ghostly units can actually be really strong. So yeah, we'll see what he does. Shidoku wants an ODM final. Well, it's certainly possible. It's certainly possible. Yeah, I don't know why. YouTube is so delayed with like notifying people of streams and stuff. Yeah, it's kind of weird. But anyways, guys, welcome. All right. So we're on the Pillar of Bone, pretty small map. Big enough, though, to still have a gun line. Or I probably wouldn't go like too heavily in the Carronade game, but Anticity probably will just bring like I don't know if he's going to go Monster Mash. Like most of Anticity's builds are like Luther Harkin with gun lines. Luther Harkin is just so strong. He dominates the air. He's like, he can outduel most Vampire Count characters, or most characters in the game in general because of his pistol. What's a good race to start with in multiplayer? Oh man, there's a bunch, dude. Honestly, I always like Lizardmen. Yeah. Like for beginners, because they're like really tanky. And then you could like play monster builds and just like kind of be pretty stable. But yeah, it depends. There's some harder ones to play. Like I think Empire High Elves are a little bit trickier to play for beginners. But to each their own. Yeah, we'll see. Players still picking their armies here. We, of course, saw Anticity win the faction war relatively recently with his Vampire Coast, putting on an absolute clinic with those guys. We will be having faction wars again pretty soon. We're probably going to not have one before the end of the month, though, because, of course, Everchosen is going to be taking up the weekend slot. But the following week, or maybe the week after that, we will have another faction war. So that'll be coming back. How much is the summer sale? I don't know. Yeah, there's going to be some zombie action here for sure. I mean, on one side, there will at least be some zombies. At the very least, some zombies will be summoned. Vampire Coast pretty much has no choice. They have to bring zombies because they're their baseline troops, and there's not too many cheaper options. What are the best tools for the Lizzie roster in dealing with the Vampire Coast gunline? Width, you just go super wide with like Saurus and Skinks and Pterodons and just go super wide. Don't give them good targets, in my experience. Brian P. says, hey, Turin, always watch these streams before bed, but finally caught one live. Thanks for keeping me entertained. I got you, man. And thank you for the fiber. Thank you for the fiber. And Zypho saying Dark Elves, Lizards, and Chaos for beginners. Certainly a very seasoned player there. He can tell you. All right, so it looks like both players are ready. Or at least Anticity is. Start when ready. Good luck. We'll get this party started in just a moment. Julian, you're very welcome. Harkin is super risky. All Vampire Count Lords beat him. That's definitely not true. Luther Harkin with Taunt or with Hornswoggle and his kiting, like the thing is, yeah, maybe in a straight up fight, Luther Harkin might not beat like a Blood Dragon Lord, but he can like kite them and shoot them with his pistol. He can soften them up. Luther's like range is really obnoxious. Like he can sit above and just cap him with that heavy pistol shot and then go in when he has the advantage or when the debuffs are in his favor, because you have Taunt, you have Hornswoggle, so you're gonna have a Vampire caster with Taunt and Hornswoggle. Those debuffs are insanely good. Yeah. What's a good race for skirmishing? The elves are pretty good. Yeah, Dark Elves are pretty good for skirmishing. Repeater crossbows, Scourge Runner chariots are very easy to use. Repeater crossbows a little bit harder, but Scourge Runner is very easy to use. So I would say Dark Elves for skirmishing are pretty damn good. Wood Elves, yeah. Lizardmen actually a pretty good skirmish too with Chameleon Skinks. Empire has good skirmishing with Pistoliers. I mean, there's a bunch of options. It really just depends on the rest of the faction and like how you like their playstyle. All right. Zypho said you just time out Shidoku. Oh my god, that's funny. All right. So yeah, just like we predicted, Anticity not actually going with a monster build. Yeah, he's got a gunline. So he's got Zombie Part Deckhand mobs. He's got Count Noctilus here. He's got Depth Guard, a Morngul Haunter as well. Depth Guard, pretty good buzzsaw unit. I like them as like a cleaner. It's got zombie power deckhand mobs with polearms, 1 carronade. I guess that's not too much to defend. Granted, a single zombie summon from outer region is going to be able to shut this down. And in the back, a massive gunnery mob line. So yeah, I think these are all the cheap variants. And he actually has the hand cannon. So this is, I used to kind of dump on these all the time, but Anticity used them in the faction war against lizardmen to a great effect. Apparently they're really good at kind of skeet shooting the Vargulfs and or Vargeists and Fellbat type units out of the air. So it's one of those, and then some handguns saturated in the back as well. So a lot of you guys are probably looking at this back line and saying, like, how, like, if some hounds or something come here, how does he defend? It looks completely undefended. Well, it's not. The way he's situated, if something attacks one handgun, he switches all the other guns to kind of cover it. It's kind of a cover fire defensive back line, which is actually really strong with Vampire Coast. Because they're unbreakable, and they have high HP pools, they can take that beating for sure. Yeah. Betrayal. Yeah, Emmeric's pretty good, Roman. Yeah, he can do his thing. Falcon would know more about Emmerich, though. Soulforge42, I love your streams. I really want to get into multiplayer, but I'm so nervous. Oh, don't be nervous, man. We actually had a lot of new players in today's tournament, and some of them did very, very well, and some, you know, faced some tough opponents and got some good lessons. It's a very friendly community, man. Just join, have some fun. If you lose, who cares? You can then join and watch the tournament with your friends afterwards. Follow the person that beat you, you know. It's always a good time. I've been eliminated from tournaments many times in the first round, so don't stress it. It's get in there. It's good. It's good times. All right. Oh, sorry about that. The camera's getting all jerky. Out of region asking if you broke the rules. I'll go ahead and double check. So 1, 2. It looks fine to me. I don't know. I think you're okay. Okay, so he's got a white king here, white king here. He doesn't have more than 5. I think you're good. Seems good. But let me go ahead and keep checking. Skeleton Warriors, Stearnsman. He's got a couple Fellbats. He's got Von Karstein Lord, 1, 2, 3 single entities. Black Knights and Barracks Reavers. 4 single entities in total. Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. So Adam T, thank you so much for the donation. Really appreciate the $9.99 bargain deal. Yeah, Falcon. I'm glad Vampire Coast can do it, though. Like, I liked it. Because I was kind of pissed off when Vampire Coast would always, like, players would just use monsters. I'm like, that's not... They're a powder faction. I want to see powder gun lines, like, work. And, like, it's cool that they're zombie gun lines because they're, like, unbreakable. I like it, actually. I know some people might not, but it's probably just good against certain people's playstyle, and they don't like that. Who knows? But the Fellbat's going to get... This is a mistake from outer region. Like, flying into the gun line, the Fellbat should have taken a wide route and then dove in, but that is a nasty amount of firepower. Outer region needs to fall back. Oh, man, skeet shooting right there. Those Fellbats get taken out. But, yeah, what you got to do is wait for your front line, and then from there you can go in with all your flying units. You have to alpha strike gun lines like this. Anticity, of course, is one of the best Vampire Coast players out there, so if he makes Vampire Coast look easy, that's because he's really, really good at them and understands how they work on a very fundamental level. A little bit of a mistake here from outer region, too. He sends the Black Knights into a tar pit, whereas he could have gone around and just, like, flanks, but some of them actually charged into the zombies there, which is going to be a horribly rough losing situation. In the meantime, the Flying Air Force is here. They're definitely going to want to come in soon. The White Kings are engaged. Nice Scab Scrape, though, from outer region, able to go down those deckhand mobs. Yeah, this is a little bit better, for sure. Of course, the Black Knights here is still a mistake, but now he's got the Barracks Reavers in the back, and this is what I'm talking about, the defensive firing lines here. So they're all going to be turning and just shooting. And, you know, Anticity will eventually lose the front line, but yeah, this is where the Alpha Strike needs to be employed. Like, he needs to be having Fellbats on everything, just swarming everywhere he can, to make it so the gun line isn't able to defend pretty much every point. So here comes the Vargeist actually opting to go after the Carronade. He needs to use Zombie Summon, so basically you send one guy at each of these units here, although the Terrorgeist isn't going to be useful against a wide gun line, and that just shows like why a wide build like this from Anticity is so good. The build from Outer Region is very designed to kill monsters. It has a big Dragon Lord, it has a Terrorgeist, like it's ready to fight monsters, but Anticity just always goes with gun lines, and to beat gun lines you just go super wide, like bring a million shielded Graveguard, Hounds, and Fellbats, and you'll 100% beat a gun line. But in this case, there's some skeet shooting as these zombie pirate gunnery mobs are just skeeting all over the face here of this Terrorgeist. Man, brutal stuff. And it looks like Count Noctilus was able to secure the gun line back here. And yeah, the front line's going well. I mean, Skeleton Warriors and Graveguard should be able to break through eventually, although I think it's mostly Skeleton. Stearnsman over here as well. But look at the crossfire! Man, that is so awesome. I love seeing this. So Anticity able to get some great crossfire here on the Terrorgeist. He's pushed up. And the Von Karstein Lord is like stuck attacking summons, right? There's like no good targets for him. Like a big dragon with nothing to feast on, except like chaff. And that's the strength of going wide. It's not always the best, of course, but in this situation it seems to be pretty effective as there is a ton of powder going after this Von Karstein Lord. Now the front line going okay for the Vampire Counts. They're able to get through some of the zombies. The Graveguard are pushing through where they can, but there are Depth Guard and also Morgul Haunter back here, so I don't see this going terribly well for the Vampire Counts here. Man, This is just some pounding here. Brutal stuff for sure. And the Von Karstein Lord now going to be attacked by Count Noctilus. I forget what bloodline Count Noctilus is from in the lore. I can't remember. I think he's a Von Karstein actually. Yeah, that's right. He's Niklaus Von Karstein, I think is his name. So taking out his fellow Von Karstein Lord here, showing him who the mighty Von Karstein leader is. And the Lord is down. Vampire count's pretty much going to crumble. The entire gun line's intact, and anything that gets through the front now at this point can just be Last Samurai. And man, what a Vampire Coast clinic put him by Anticity, showing why he's probably, I don't know, I would probably consider him one of the best Vampire Coast players out there, if not the best. He is very, very good at these guys. Brutal stuff. That was a really, really good game. So to beat that with Vampire counts, what you would do is you would probably go with a foot character. You would get you could even get like Vlad or something, or probably a Blood Dragon on foot, someone like that. You get double Banshees. You just get like 4 Graveguard, like Scurvy Dogs, Fellbats. It can be beaten for sure, but this build was very monster killy. The Terrorgeist and the Von Karstein Lord were basically wasted resources, and he had like no frontline strength. Like skeletons aren't going to beat deckhand mobs in a very convincing fashion. So there you have it, my friends. Anticity is going to be going up 2-0 and winning the series, and now we'll go down to the bracket and advance Anticity on to the next round. So there he goes. And he will be facing the winner of Vios and Hel Nal. Well, not the winner. Yeah, well, yes, he will at some point. But now we have Vios versus Hel Nal here. So we're going to go ahead and get the lobby set up. The Daka is powerful for sure. That was a really, really good performance. Top tier stuff. All right, well played. GG. And Outer Region says I should stop using Vampire counts. So we have Hel Nal here, so let's go ahead and get Vios now. So let me go ahead and tag him. Very good, and welcome all of you folks. I see you in the Discord. Good to have you guys in there. Let's have some fun. All right, so Vios is going to be joining. Hopefully you can see the lobby. If you cannot, we can go ahead and get him added and all that sort of good stuff. Here's Hel Nal. So as far as the map goes, let's go ahead and find one. We can do the Red Desert. Red Desert's kind of a weird map. We'll do a River Amixon. It's a fun Lizardman map there. Very good. And we'll update the nameplates as well. So let's go ahead and switch back to the lobby now that we've seen the goodness there. And with my fancy magical updater, Hel is going to be on this side. So we're just going to put Hel for short. Hopefully he doesn't mind. 0 there. And on the far side, it's going to be Vios. Very good. And boom, look at that. Just like magic. A little bit small. I need to like respace those a little bit, but that's okay. Now we have Vios. Map set. How's it going? Picks and bans, go, go. Good luck, have fun. So the players are going to do their picks and bans, and we'll just hang out and chat in the meantime and have a good time. Yes. And here we go. We'll see what happens. Both players have had very good runs today. Who plays Dwarves here? Does Vios play? He plays Dwarves? We haven't seen too many Skaven today. Yeah, we haven't seen... Well, we haven't had enough games, really, to see too many Skaven. To answer your question. So this is a best of 3, and then the grand finals are best of 5 for today's qualifier. But despite that, the tournament was actually much bigger. We had, I think, like 58, 65 people, somewhere in that range today that played. And these are the folks who got to the top 4 of that tournament. So quite the accomplishment for sure. Just getting here is very, very difficult. Are you guys singing What is Love by... Is that Hadaway who sings that? I think it's Hadaway. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. It always takes me back to A Night at the Roxbury. That movie was great with Chris Kattan and Will Ferrell. Oh, man. That was like the movie I probably binge-watched as a child. It was so good. Turin, hi. Where can I find a link to the Discord? There was one above. I'll drop another one here in a little bit, Oscar. No worries. And we also have some glorious mods in chat who can drop links to the Discord as well, if you guys are interested. And yeah, got a pretty cool multiplayer community. Great people. Seasoned players, beginners. And it's always nice to be able to talk to those vets in the Discord and get some feedback from them and also play with them if you're in these tournaments. Yeah. Oh, let's stretch them legs out. All right, looking good. Awesome. Everything looks good to me. No drama here. Anticity is in the grand finals, waiting atop his Throne of Skulls. That's the thing. Anticity has been like... He's gotten to the top 4 of like almost every qualifier he's played in. Like most of them. I know last season, he was like in almost every one. I think he qualified at the very end. I can't quite remember. But certainly very good. Thank you, Felcon. Appreciate it. Felcon has not tried to qualify yet. No. I'm sure he will. We have 6 more qualifiers after this, so... I'm sure he'll appear at some point. He has to qualify with the Arc of Sotek and Dread Saurian, nothing else. He has to use it every single game. That would be quite a challenge. You can change the rest of your build, but in every single game, Falcon, you have to use the Arc of Sotek and a Dread Saurian. That would be crazy. Yeah. It would probably be too hard, though. I think people would be able to just, if they know you have a Dread Saurian, it would just be too much. Don't actually do that, but it's just kind of fun to speculate. So let's see what the picks and bans are for the players. So we have Vios picking High Elves, banning Bretonnia and Beastmen. And then we have Hel Nal on Skaven. So Skaven versus High Elves, actually. It's going to be a fun matchup. I don't think we'll see War Lions. I think we might see Rangers mixed in here. Maybe one of the new Lords. Probably not Eltharion, but maybe Imric. I don't know. Imric Dragonhorn Rush could be okay against Skaven. If you're talking about just the new stuff. Yeah, we'll see. The Turin podcast, yeah. Is this where noobs try out? Andrew Cohen, yes, we have a ton of new players playing in this tournament. Yeah, oh yeah, tons. And many of them, like I said earlier, did well. It's open to anyone. Of course, only the top 4 games are casted in the qualifiers because it would be like a 6-hour stream. The tournament started at 8:30 in the morning, and it got to this point at 12:30, 12:45. It got to the top 4, so it just shows it's a bit of a stretch. But again, if you lose in the first round, it doesn't really matter. But yeah. Yeah, give it a try. We also do King of the Hills in the Discord, and anyone's welcome to join those as well. So if you want to join the flock of the younglings who are executed by Falcon and Soothsayer, you're more than welcome to. And also, if you're looking for a noob-only tournament, you just want to play against other beginner players, if you go to my Discord and go to the Community Resources section, there is a link to my son Herbert Walker's Discord where he runs the Fresh Recruits Tournament, I believe. So yeah, it's a really good place to go if you want to play in a noob-only tournament. Because mine is going to be a mix of veterans and beginners and mid-level players. So you get it all here. Yeah. Used to love 40k in fantasy. Had an incredible Skaven and Necron setup. That's cool. Necrons, man, the new Necron models are so awesome. I'm oh man, I kind of want to play Necrons now. Maybe I will. Maybe when 9th edition comes out, I'll get some Necron action going. It'd be cool to actually have 2 different armies aside from just Chaos. Because my Chaos collection is more or less done. I have everything I want. I have Terminators, I have Warp Talons. I got the full Death Guard roster with Mortarion, Abaddon. I got it all. Yeah, I've heard the Fresh Recruit tournament's super well run, and my son Herbert Walker is. I obviously do tournaments maybe once a week for periods of time, and then I take breaks in between seasons here and there. But my son Herbert Walker is super consistent. He's constantly putting on events, and he is a great host. He runs a great tournament and is a really nice guy too. So I would recommend checking him out. But yeah, we have links to all sorts of Discords. I run tournaments. My son Herbert Walker runs tournaments. Like I said, there's a ton of other hosts as well. Different communities. Yeah. So we're all good. One sec, guys. Just responding to a message. All right, perfect. All right, so Vios is ready. Hel Nal going to be making that glorious Skaven build. Yeah, Necrons are awesome too because you just spray paint them silver and then you just do some green touches on them and you're yes, a glorious finished army. Spray paint silver, dry brush with Dawnstone, do some green highlights and wash them and you're yes, the Necron Legion is complete. But man, some of those War of the World models are so rad. I might have to switch and play some Necrons. Yeah. He's not my son, no. Proud father Turin. He's a really good guy, yeah. Yeah, join the Fresh Recruit tourney. Go do it. I don't know what his schedule is for it. Yeah, I actually like this matchup as High Elves. I actually like to use some Shadow Warriors and a lot of to sneak up on the Skaven and bring down the Ogres and stuff. And Rangers are cool now. There's so much fun stuff. And the mighty Rahagra's Pride perhaps will be brought. All right, I'm not using a screen blocker today, but you guys have got me so paranoid that... Perfect. Aerocrastic, thank you for offering, brother. Yes, and we got a donation coming in from Lakabovic. He says, 500 rubles, thank you. I hope my today born wee dude will love Warhammer as much as I do. Your entertainment is so good. Hey, so it sounds like if you have a newborn, congratulations, man. And I'm sure with a father like you, he will turn out great and he will also love Warhammer. Get him started early, painting some models. Very cool, man. Thank you. Congrats. It's not my birthday. It's not my birthday. Goddamn. All right, guys. Let's look at the build for Hel Nal. He's Skaven Slaves. He's got some clan rats here. He does also have the Teeth Breakers. Oh, man. Rattling Gunners. This is awesome. It's almost always Giselle spam, so it's really refreshing to see some of these other weapons teams. So Rattling Gunners here, Grey Seer Plague, Warp Lightning Cannon in the back with the Warlock Engineer with Howling Warp Gale to lock down the Pigeons, Hell Pit, Ogres, and also some Doom Flayers. A very diverse army here. For his Lord, he does have a Grey Seer Plague, so no Skrulk Daddy. And now for the Forces of the High Elves, he's got Rangers, Spearmen in the front, no Silver and Guard, just going to be Rangers, and yeah, Rangers cut through Skaven Chaff pretty damn quick. He's got a Beast Summoner. He's got a Lithanar with the Moonbow. Oh, yeah. Talk dirty. Got some Archers, Lothern Seaguard. And it looks like triple War Lion. Oh, yeah. Grace Hungers. Does he ever Hogwarts Pride? No, it's going to be basic War Lions. This is very exciting. I love this build from Vios. It's going to be fun. Yes. Turin, open the stream in an incognito window or a different browser so you can see what we see. What do you mean? I see what you guys see. Yeah, I do have it on my phone, but like I'm so, because there's a delay, I'm so paranoid about the screen blocker thing that I just always have to minimize before the game happens. Like, it's just like, yeah. Oh, is the man, the myth, the legend, Kevin here? The invader of lobbies. So there's a little bit of Vanguard action. There's some Reavers deployed around the map, which is going to kind of test Yali's micro. He's going to have to deal with those for sure. But the Rangers and the Lions, I like it. Rangers definitely very good here. They're in a loose formation too, so if they're shot at by like Plague Claws or Mortars, they're not... Well, I guess the Mortars would probably hit them pretty efficiently, but like, you know, catapult type things or missile play. The loose formation does help. Yeah. The Lion King's all up in this hoe. Lithanar is actually really good at sniping artillery pieces. With 300 range, you could just sit him on top of the Warp Lightning Cannon and use his Moonbow, and he can actually bring it down. So honestly, I think Vios has some really, really good answers against this Skaven here. But again, Skaven are Skaven. They're always scary. Grey Seer, bunch of Chaff, Hell Pit Abomination. Although the bows certainly will bring down that Hell Pit if it's not careful. So the High Elves will advance on, and it looks like he does have a Death Caster with Spirit Leech, as well as a Manticore Summoner. So he has two casters in this army. Spirit Leech, very good at gooning Skaven Lords. And now you can see a Lithanar does accidentally blow his first shot here on the Skaven Slave Spears. So he's going to want to switch into the back and go after the Warp Lightning Cannon if he can. Andy Cruz, you only missed the first match. So Warp Lightning Cannons are now going to be shooting at a Lithanar, and they do make contact. Now, mind you, there's no healing also, so any damage he does get here is pretty substantial. Doom Flayers are going to be really good against this army. There's not much, I guess. Oh, actually, you know what? The War Lions are really good against Doom Flayers. Yeah, good general AP values. That's really solid. So in the back, we have the Reavers coming about. Looks like Vios going to be getting in there, trying to maybe slip through the cracks, but of course, Hel Nal does see this with his Rat Ogres and is able to screen them adequately. And now Lithanar shooting with his bow, trying to take out the Warp Lightning Cannons, has made some contact. Look at that. So if you look at a Lithanar shot, it actually counts as an artillery. So damaged by artillery. That's a Lithanar's bow. It's pretty cool. I actually didn't notice that before. So Yafo Show, ask me that question again after this game, bud. Nice Moonbow shot coming in right there on the Warp Lightning Cannon. Able to wreck those guys down. And now comes the Archer Fire from the High Elves. So what are they going to be targeting? These are shielded clan rats. Looks like initially he is going to be going after Skaven Slaves. And the Reavers might have been forgotten about here. Nope, Vios on point here. Going to be pulling those guys back. Seems like both players are very, very on top of their micro. Now the War Lions are coming around the flank, looking to find a way in as well. And honestly, the quad archers could probably focus down these Rattling Gunners pretty efficiently as well. You can see Vios is pulling back his Rangers as well. So trying to keep them out of range of the Rattling Gunners while his archers get in and start to clean up. Berlino, appreciate you guys keeping us all entertained. Much love. Thank you so much for the $25. Or not dollars, but thank you for the 25, man. Really appreciate it. And yes, I'm here and will keep you entertained to the best of my abilities. Thank you so much, man. So here, the Rangers now surge forward to cover the archers because the Skaven advance did put some decent pressure on those guys. And now all the archer fire is going to be tearing into the Teeth Breakers, who do have 70 armor, but, you know, volume is volume. And you can see the Rattling Gunners are being forced back as the Rangers and Spearmen do engage. And the Lion does feast tonight. You can see the War Lions lurking in the trees. Oh, he's got to watch out for this Grey Seer. Could get surrounded by the War Lions. War Lions have good AP and could chew down this Grey Seer. Wonder if Vios is going to go for it. Yeah, that would be pretty gangster for sure, but it looks like he's not. So Rangers have gotten into the front line and are now engaged for his clan rats. Archers have also scooted in and are going to be trying to take out the Warp Lightning Cannons, it looks like. No, Rattling Gunners or Warp Lightning Cannons. Putting some shots into both those guys, and it looks like there is going to be a Manticore summon coming in. It's crazy, like, the Manticore summons with High Elves, it's just like, yeah, I totally forgot that they could do that now. But the Manticore summon could be used to disrupt those clan rats or goon out some of the escaping characters and lords. But Hel Nal is doing a great job with his Doom players, also running some interference, and I'm surprised Hel still has his Teeth Breakers and his Warp Lightning Cannon somewhat functional. The cannons still have 2 pieces, and it looks like Yale is able to collapse here and get on top of Viosh's Illyrian Reavers. And he's going to be dropping a rat summon here, probably just a clan rat to muck up this advance. So far it's a very close battle. Manticore Summon is going in the back. It looks like it is going to be going after the Teethbreakers, trying to maybe get a route there. But a Howling Warp Gale coming in from the Skaven. Nice one there by Hyali, locking that Manticore up in the sky. Certainly going to allow the Rattling Gunners to tear into that thing, but it'll probably just rampage anyways. And it's a summon unit, so it's really not the end of the world. But the Reaver Cav Force back, and now comes the second wind of pressure here from Viosh. He sends the Warlines into the Skaven Slave Spears. Warlines are large, so certainly not the best trade for the Warlines. But these Reavers might be able to find an opening, but really there's not too many opening in Hyali's formation. He's done a really good job kind of keeping everything protected, but eventually maybe those Lion Claws will find their way in. Nice scorch right there on the Lothern Seaguard. Manticore has rampaged into the Hell Pit Abomination, which is a pretty good outcome for the Skaven here. And the Clan Rats with Spears are able to block up the Reaver Charge and also protect the Teethbreaker Rattling Gunners. And it seems like it's a pretty close battle. I mean, the Archer line for the High Elves is more or less just fully online. I mean, these Archers are, I guess some of them are being mucked up by some Clan Rats. Are those summons? No, those are actual Clan Rats. Oof, that's pretty rough. They're actually probably going to be able to take down these Archers then. Another Clan Rat summon being used, and you can see the Greyseer of Plague is actually getting rather beat up. In a second Manticore summon coming in, that Manticore will probably chase down the Greyseer, and then from there what's going to happen is we're going to have a Lithanar sniping it. We're also going to have Spirit Leeches, and that might be the doom of the Skaven. It looks like, as a matter of fact, the High Elves are pulling ahead in the Balance of Power, winning this flank over here pretty well. Yeah, Deathcaster being chased by an Assassin, but the Bows and a Lithanar are putting really, really steady damage. You can see a Lithanar here in the back is really starting to drop some beats here. But the Balance of Power is close enough. It's still a game that either player could win. But look at this. Warp Grinders have been chased off. The Reavers in the back did fully commit, trying to shut down the Warp Lightning Cannon, but the Skaven are actually holding it quite valiantly here. Another Howling Warp Gale has been used on the Feral Manticore. No, actually, Warp Storm Scroll and a Howling Warp Gale to really just make sure that thing can't move. That's pretty good play for sure. But it looks like the backline is disrupted. The Lions are actually feasting now. Yeah, the Lions finally found an opening, and now they've gotten on top of the Rattling Gunners, which is just going to be absolute wrecked. Anti-infantry, good AP. The AP cuts easily through that 70 armor, and that is going to be very, very tough. So it looks like Viosh finally able to find an opening, a chink in the armor of Hyale. And it might be enough to actually give him the game here, but we'll see. The Rattling Gunners chased off. The Warp Lightning Cannon crew is also embroiled in combat here, and they're broken. Man, these War Lions just getting in there and just giving the business to these rats. Able to break all of these guys. Look at all the rats here, Skaven Slaves. These War Lions are just feasting. Now, their glass cannons are very squishy, but they're up to 120 kills. That bonus for infantry is just so nasty. Now, in the backfield, we have the Hell Pit Abomination trying to chase down the casters, it looks like. Many of the High Elf Archers are kind of forced back into a defensive posture, but it looks like they're falling back and skirmishing well enough, using the War Lions to clean up with the Manticore Summon. And look at that. The War Lions are now taking out the Assassin. The bonus versus infantry just insane on those guys. Those War Lions, just absolute beast mode. So now Hell Pit Abomination's coming in, but it's pretty much running into many counters. Spearmen shall be able to hold back the Clan Rat advance. We have a Lithanar using the last of his ammunition to wear down the Hell Pit, and it might get the too horrible to die proc, but it looks like Viosh is probably going to pull this game out, as the Skaven are now being pulled apart. The mobility of the High Elves and the War Lions able to feast on all the Skaven characters, and yeah, that's GG. Man, what a well-played game. Hyale did a super good job defending his lines in the beginning, but like eventually the constant pressure and Archer play and Lithanar's just wailing away on that Greyseer was able to win the game. That was a really cool build with the Manticore summons from High Elves. Like, I was not expecting that by any stretch of the imagination. So Viosh is going to go 1-0 in this best of 3, so we are going to be moving on to game 2 here. Yeah, that was a really fun game. And now we shall do the Spice Tunes. I can't remember if Spice Tunes is good. Which of the Tarantula maps is good? I think it was this one. I think the North one was the good one. And it's not that one. It's not the Inland one, I don't think. No, it's this one. Okay, so map set. Yeah, it's this one. So in this game, Hyale's going to go to his main faction. So he's going to the what is it? Yeah, it looks like Lizardmen here. So he's going to be Lizardmen banning Skaven and Coast. We are on the Tarantula Coast Isle. Looks like he's a Lizardman main, so this is what he's going to be pulling out for sure. And again, thank you guys so much for your donations. Super generous stuff. Yeah, that was a really cool build. The Manticore Summon was like pretty gangster. Like, you don't expect that from High Elves at all. Like, at all. But nonetheless, it worked quite well. Yeah, it was a very innovative build. Rangers, War Lions, like you wouldn't think you would need the AP from War Lions, but they really wreck infantry, especially like terrible infantry. Like Skaven Slaves just get feasted on by the Lion King. Warp Grinders are used mainly to snare things. They're not really there for their combat prowess. So we have Lizards versus Norska, it looks like, in our next match. Yeah, Rattling Gunners aren't bad in multiplayer. They certainly have some teeth. Like, they have a suppression mechanic, which is always good. Honestly, they did good. I think Jazales would have been a little bit more useful, but even still, they didn't do badly. Yeah, Warp Grinders can lock things in place and do AoE damage. They're really, really good. But his Warp Grinders got killed pretty early by the War Lions. They were, like, scurrying off the back of the map, if I remember correctly. Yes. Very cool stuff indeed. So the winner of this series will go face Inticity in the grand finals here. The Lions were microed quite well. We also have a donation coming in. My apologies for missing it during that game from Andrew Cohen of 20 bucks. It looks like, I don't know what language it is. Is that Korean? It says, Turin is the best. Thank you, man. That's very kind of you. Thank you for the 20, and yeah, I'll keep you entertained, man. It kind of looks like kanji. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like it could be. So there's hiragana, katakana, and then kanji, I think is what the last one's called. Yeah, I don't know. But Andrew Cohen, thank you so much, man. Yeah, I think that's kanji. I can't quite remember. The great plan is here, and Kale really likes to play kite with lizards, so I think we're going to see some nasty salamander skink kiting. But again, maybe he'll try and catch Vios off guard with some very sneaky schemes. We'll see if the psychology of losing the first game plays into effect here, but Kale is a very seasoned tournament veteran. I don't think he's going to have too many issues. Bouncing back from that. Any plans for another head-to-head in the future? Maybe soon. Maybe sometime next month, yeah. No immediate plans, but I will do them again some point. Yeah. Thomas Armstrong, thank you, man. Are you not entertained? I know, I'm entertained. These battles have been really good so far. But yeah, Kale is one of the first people to introduce me to like a really nasty lizardman kiting. I was like, oh yeah, they're going to rush me like they usually do. And then suddenly there's like salamanders and skinks just in the trees and hiding in the bushes and just appearing everywhere. So I've certainly felt it, and it's very, very strong. Very, very strong indeed. No more Alariel. And yeah, it was pretty cool to not see Alariel used. Lithanar was actually really good there. Like, he wrecked that Grey Seer, sniped the artillery pieces. Like, he paid for himself and was competitive, I would say. Yeah. So, yeah, Fosho, thank you. Re-asking, any YouTube videos you recommend to learn to consider playing for multiplayer competitive scene? Okay, so it's tricky because there are like a fair amount of tutorials on YouTube from other YouTubers, but a lot of them don't play competitive themselves. Like, they may play a little bit of casual multiplayer, but they don't like come from a competitive background, or do they play in tournaments or play against competitive players. So you have to take them with a grain of salt. There's some like very beginner guides, like I know Party Elite did some, but that was for Warhammer 1. And so he had some really good ones back in the day. I know, yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, honestly, for me, the best way to learn is like watching battles and then like playing battles myself and just emulating. I put up some basic stuff about how to like move and structure your army. It's actually my featured video on my channel if you want to check that out. It's pretty good for beginners. Zerkovic does some videos that are quite good, like mistakes to avoid. Yeah, like there's a bunch of creators, but most of them just put up battles. Like, battles is really kind of the mainstay of most people's channels. Yeah. Yeah. But honestly, like, yeah, I would recommend joining like our Discord community or other multiplayer Discord communities and like talking with players in there and playing against other players. Just getting the repetitions, man. It's like the best. Like, somebody can tell you how to lift weights all you want, but until you go and like lift the weight yourself, you know, you're not going to see any gains, right? Yeah, that would be my 2 cents. But yeah, like I said, a lot of like channels, big channels that put out like tutorials, they don't play competitive themselves. So like you got to take it with a grain of salt. But in terms of like very basic stuff, like it'll hit the nail on the head and be very, very good. But if you're looking for like competitive, like tournament kind of level stuff, yeah, it depends. Honestly, I would just watch battles. Yeah. Yeah, and like obviously campaign's different. If you're looking for a campaign, there's like other channels you can watch. Like there's tons of great content creators out there within the Total War community. And there's like some really good small streamers too who like stream on Twitch like very casually, not like as a profession, and like they are really good to watch as well, and they'll answer your questions, and it's you know, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, Pact is absolutely right. Rubber Duck of War has a great channel. He always plays in our events as well. Really nice guy too. There's so many good channels out there. Both big and small. Hel Nal and Vios are ready. Let's go ahead and jump into this battle. Game 2 in this best of 3. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, I would be more engaged with answering questions in the Discord, but the problem is typing is actually really painful for me. It's like very difficult, so I try to type as little as I can. So if you guys, maybe what I'll do is I'll do another Q&A video or something, like where people can leave questions and I'll just answer them. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Kassar Jake, absolutely. Oh, what was this calling me? Some spam number. A spam number? I don't know that area code. Sorry about that, guys. I thought I told my phone to be quiet. Gotta pull up chat once again. All right, looks good. Yeah, and campaign is like, yeah, campaign's a whole nother beast. I'm starting to get into legendary campaigns. I did one for Sigvald, and I'm currently recording my Skarsnik legendary campaign. So hopefully I'll be able to give you guys more insight on campaign stuff soon. But, or at least be able to show you more. But yeah, there's tons of great campaign channels. It depends if you're looking for like a more casual campaign channel where you want to like just kind of get immersed and chill out, or if you're looking for like min-maxing. There's people for all of those things. So it really just depends on what you're looking for. Thank you to Waffle. Yeah, the speech to text software, I don't know. I talk a little bit fast forward. It does kind of struggle. My hands aren't like, yeah, I can type. It's just I'd rather not. Yeah. When are you going to challenge Follow Grubby to a match? Well, I'm fairly certain I would beat Grubby in Total War Warhammer, but Grubby would crush me in Warcraft 3. He would beat me harder in Warcraft 3 than I would probably beat him in Total War Warhammer. Grubby is really good. Yeah. Grubby's like one of my favorite folks in the Warcraft 3 scene. And then I love Back to Warcraft. They're these two German casters. They're just outstanding, and their channel's really good. All right, guys. And here we are in the battle. Let's focus. For the Lizardmen, we have Pterodon Riders into the Sunset. It looks like it's going to be 4 of those. 2 Chameleons, and just like Hel Nal usually does, he's got Razordons, he's got the Umbral Tide, and more Razordons back here. Coldland Riders, a bunch of Skinks, and a Krokgar. Oh, Krokgar, baby. Hand of the Gods is here. So Yali's build is very much like pull you apart and kite you. Yeah, it's awesome. And now for Norska, and Vios, he's got Spearmen, Marauders. He does also have Throg Daddy, a Metal Sorcerer with Final Transmutation, a couple Javelins as well. Maws of Savagery, Condom Wolves, Fimir Warriors, and some Norscan Ice Wolves to try and pursue and chase down those skirmishers. Honestly, it's quite a good army. Yeah, I like it. It's a cool map too. I actually think this map's quite good. Yeah, I'll get back to Warcraft 3 someday. Yeah, Grubby is a great content creator. He's a really nice guy too, from what I've seen on his channels. I would totally do something with, like, if he wanted to like play some Total War Warhammer, man, that would be great. You're gonna enjoy the Skarsnik campaign I'm doing. It's like a survival campaign, and you know, like a lot of like legendary players or players who play on legendary spam like only ranged units. But in my Skarsnik legendary campaign, I've actually had massive success using Squid Coppers. Like I've just been wrecking like Clan Angren with them. Granted, I've almost like lost to them too, just because their ghostly characters are so oppressive. But yeah, that's gonna be fun. Anyways, Hel Nal with a nice wind blast right there. Oh man, right down the Marauder Champions, who of course are the elite units here for Norska. So he's got champs. Okay, so it's not all basic Marauders. He does have a couple Marauder Champions here in the front, who do trade very efficiently with Saurus. In the meantime, Chameleons are going to be kiting. Hel just going to be trying to pull his opponent apart. He'll probably have his Pterodon Riders just kind of trolling about, using Wind Blast periodically to wreck the Marauder Champions. But that was a really, really good cast for sure. In the meantime, the glorious Razordon packs are going to be shooting at the Marauder Champions, but he has to watch out. There are Norscan Ice Wolves nearby, and the Ice Wolves will be able to Shrek these Razordon hunting packs if they can actually catch them. In the meantime, Skink cohorts with Javelins are in support, so if the Wolves do come in, they can fall back behind the Skinks. And also, it looks like Yali does have more Pterodons over here on the flank that can help out against the mobile elements. Now, basically, what Yali wants to do here, and you can see he's doing it, he actually did drop some rocks here on the Marauder Hunters. He wants to kill all the mobility for Norska. If he's able to kill the Wolves and the Skin Wolves and those other elements, he's going to be able to kite and just cackle and just have an extremely successful game. Here you do have the Norscan Ice Wolves jumping on these units, but oh no! This is really not good for Hyale. Here in the center, his Umbral Tide is actually caught, and there's not really much to support. I mean, there are a couple Skin cohorts who are going to be trying to peel here, but this is a rough situation. If he loses the Umbral Tide this early to these Norscan Ice Wolves, that's going to be a big old oof. And he's down to 16 models. They're very, very low. He is able to peel off these Norscan Ice Wolves, but the Umbral Tide is really just getting wrecked here, and you can see his Cav, his Coldland Riders, a little bit out of position for the rescue here. He might actually use a Cold Blood to try and salvage these, but that's a pretty rough situation. Now, this fight did go okay. He peeled off the Hounds for sure, but Vios is just relentless here, really pushing in. Razordon hunting packs over here are screened out by Spears, which again is not good for the Dinos. They don't want to be just shooting at Spears or running from Spears. It's really, really not a winning situation for them. However, Krokgar is now embroiled in the fray Krokar maybe looking to line up a Hand of the Gods, and the Pterodon pack is coming back in, and Hyali has stabilized his Razordons here. So these ones are okay. The Umbral Tide may come back with 13 models. It looks like they probably will. And you can see Hyali is actually pulling his Colden Riders and trying to save them from getting a little bit caught up here. So we'll see what happens. But the Marauder Champions are on the hunt here. Chasing them down with their 80 armor should be pretty resilient against Skinks. Krokar with Hand of the Gods blasting in. It does hit Throg pretty square in the face. But where is Krokar going to go next? Fighting the Troll King is no easy feat. He's anti-large, he regenerates, he's a pretty good duelist for sure against big monsters. And the Feral Manticore Summon is doing really good work kind of holding back the Norscan army. And Hyali's Air Force is getting some good steady value here. He's poking down many of the squishier Javelin units and trying to get rid of the ranged and mobility here for this army. Now the Champions are still in the hunt. The Razordons could turn and take out the Champions, although it's not the most efficient thing in the world. Although Colden Riders do have good AP, so he could charge in. And they're not Spear Riders, they're basic Colden Riders. So he could actually use those to get into them, and it would be more efficient than using like Spear Riders. Krokar, though, is on the run. He's running from some Fimir, he's running from Throg. If he gets Frostbitten, he could be in a little bit of trouble. And Krokar is kind of alone over here. He doesn't have too much support, so it looks like he's going to be using the Sacred Spawning of Zodal for physical resist and vigor. He's actually fresh right now, and you can see most of the other troops are winded or probably tired at this point. Oh, this is rough for Hyali. He's going to lose this Razordon hunting pack. Ouch. The Razordon's going to get hunted down here. I don't think there's much he can do to save them. Maybe Krokar can get a tear route. I think he's going to have to use these chameleons to peel. Oh, but the wolves actually micro onto Krokar, opting to let the Razordons get away. But now Krokar is a little bit surrounded and frostbitten. But, that might have been a mistake. I think chasing down the Razordons was the right play because now they can turn and shoot and at least get some value before they go. So Krokar's on the run. Let's go back to the other side of the battlefield. It looks like it's a bit of a wash, just wild here. But more or less, Hel Nal is stabilizing on this side of the battlefield. The hounds are being dealt with. But where are his skirmishers? Are they in the trees here? Oh, the Umbral Tide has come back. And over here, it looks like he has the Razordons who actually took a lot of damage. Yeah, that's rough. That's very rough. Krokar was able to get away. I don't know how. I guess the Frostbite, they let him go. I think they just wanted to deal with the Razordons instead of being shot here. But Hyali very much in a kite mode here. He's going to have to run. Norska's coming in pretty aggressively. And also Throg and the Skin Wolves do regenerate. So the longer the game goes, the Mons of Savagery will heal back up to full health, as will Throg, which is certainly a big obstacle to have to overcome here. And you can see here the Shaman Sorcerer Medal embroiled in combat versus the Skinks. I think the poor little Skinks are going to have to be sacrificed. The Umbral Tide is going to have to just run. Yeah, and you can see Hyali's having to send in the Skinks to just save these units. So, I mean, that's definitely rough because they're just going to get run over super quick. Krokar ran a little bit too far away. It looks like he ran up to the edge of the map there, but he's going to be making his way back to the center point here in the battlefield. The Maws of Savagery, these ferocious werewolves, are coming in with their big old pimp claws and should be able to claw some of these guys down. So we'll see how that goes. And here comes the forces of evil here as Throg and the Fimir Warriors of Great Weapons continue to pursue. It seems like Vios is a little bit ahead in this game, but the Lizards have secured a position over here. It looks like a Manticore Summon was just used. Not really sure what he's going to do with it. Maybe just send it into these Marauders here. But the Champions actually are really resilient. Man, their melee defense is so high and their armor is good. Granted AP here, but still, sustained combat stats, they will be able to trade the lower model count of those Lizard Cav right there. So how it works, somebody in chat asking, qualifiers, players can attempt to qualify as many times as they want. So they can play every week. Yeah, so even if they do lose like the first qualifier, they can come back and try again because they still have to get through another 60 people every single time. So I think it's fun to give people more chances. So the Feral Manticores here, going to be pushing in, going after the Shaman Sorcerer Medal. Certainly a good attempt here to take out the caster for the dinos, and you can bank on it that Vios is 100% saving a final transmutation for the late game. Like, I guarantee you he's saving that. So if you could actually take out the Shaman Sorcerer here beforehand, that would be a huge boon for Hyali. Now, as far as what we got back here, we have the infantry as well as the Colden Riders charging into the Marauder Champions, but Marauder Champions are just such a durable unit. You also have to remember they have the Enrage mechanic, so the Marauder Champions, if we look, do have their max tier of Enrage right now, I believe. So they have the leadership, they have the physical resist. Yeah, those guys are just absolutely sauced right now. They're not going to be going quietly. Hyali's still trying to use his cab, though, Colden Riders, to chase off the Hound units. He's got Krokar, he's got a Manticore, he's got some Pterodons, a little bit of Skink presence, and his Razordons have survived somehow, despite the fervent pursuits here of Odi and Vios. But here comes the Fimir Warriors with Great Weapons. Krokar could be meeting his doom here. Balance of Power is pulling heavily into the favor of Norska as Throg is frostbiting down his character. And you can see that currently his speed is 48, so the werewolves are able to keep up with him and really just nip at the heels of Krokar. And Balance of Power is reflecting that. But some nice Salamander fire here. Umbral Tide has come back online, and of course their anti-large fire damage will be quite good against Skin Wolves. Granted, those Skin Wolves are armored, so they're not going to be taking as much damage. But it looks like Krokar might commit to a fight here. Maybe going to go in with the Colden Riders, not sure, but yeah, might as well just try and poke with your Umbral Tide here, but the Umbral Tide 70 speed, Skin Wolves are 65 with the armor. I think the unarmored variant's a little bit quicker, but they're going in pretty ham. Going to be turning on the Golden Riders here, and they should win that. These Golden Riders are not Sphere Riders, and they're also very damaged. So the Maws of Savagery are 100% going to win that. Now, if we look back on the battlefield, I mean, Norska just has such a powerful central pocket that is regenerating. Throg is healing. I mean, the balance of power is creeping back towards the middle a little bit, but now the big issue is that the Maws of Savagery are going to be able to chase down the Umbral Tide, and everything else can basically just chase down Throg, or not Throg, but excuse me, Krokar. Hyali does have a little bit of an air force, though. He's got Powhawks of Sentinels, Razordon Hunting Packs here. Some Skinks are chasing down Marauder Spearmen with a little bit of Pterodon support as well. This is just such a scrappy fight, man. And I feel like most of Hyali's games are like this. Obviously, when you play more kite-centric builds, the games tend to go a little bit longer if you, of course, have the skill to do them, which he does. So the Umbral Tide here is shaken and stirred. Looks like Cold-Blooded is active, making Rick James proud. And they're going to be running for the hills. Speed is currently 70. Ammunition is somewhat available. Yeah, they're at about half ammo, which is quite good. And Krokar's just kind of running in circles. Maybe he has another Hand of the God. A little bit of poke going down there on the Shaman Sorcerer. I think if you were able to goon out the Shaman Sorcerer, that'd be a super big play. And the Razordons still have a lot of ammo too. So, I mean, there is an opportunity to wear down these troops. And Krokar, of course, is an absolute monster in combat. So he's going to want to use all of his skirmishing elements to try and pull this game back. And he certainly has a chance. He could use the Chameleons as like a late game buffer if he wants to charge in with Krokar. And yeah, you can see Krokar's like teasing. He's like eyeing. Umbral Tide shooting in pretty well. Some of the Marauder Spears are chasing those guys though. And you can see now we have the Razordon Hunting Pack shooting into the Skin Wolves, which are getting very, very low. And here comes the Skin Wolves charging in. Are they going to catch him? There's not any peeling. 70 speed, and they got the acceleration bonus. And it looks like some of the Razordon Hunting Packs are going to be dragged down by some angry werewolves. Crocky G going in there though. Crocky Balboa. The Cold Blood actually used from Hel Nal to try and keep the Razordons from routing, which is a good play for sure. Because had they been chased a little bit more, they could have actually broken, but... Here you can see the Marauder Spearmen are broken off here by the forces of the Skink Priest and the Heavens Caster. And I would imagine, yeah, we have combat here as well. Krokar attacking the Marauder Champions with the Powhawks of Sentinels and these other troops. Also Skink support, but the funny part is the Marauder Champion will probably hold... Oh man, this is going to be such punishment! It's probably going to be overcasted too. Oh god, Anakin, I'm too weak. An overcasted final transmutation buckles the Lizardmen army. The Skinks get wrecked, the Pterodons just scatter to the hills, and Krokar is going to be taking massive damage now. And I think that probably seals the deal. I don't see the Lizards having enough to like do this here. Yeah, what do we have? Some like Razordons just being chased by werewolves here. Krokar is like so beat up. I don't think Hyali has any chance at this point. That was a brutal final transmutation, and you knew he was saving that too. Yeah, you knew he was saving it. So the Razordons are going to turn and start shooting. Over here, we do have an engagement. So for people who were wondering if he is indeed in combat, he does have the Golden Riders on those spears area, or he did before they broke. And now he's sending in the Skink Priest, trying to pick off some of those werewolves if he can. But I think at this point, it's just pretty much delaying the inevitable. I don't think he has any chance. There's no way he's going to kill Throg. Unless Vios just like literally just sends out sacrifices for him. But he's going to try his best. He's going to use the last of his ammo here on the Razordons. If I were Vios, I might even just stand still and just be like, all right, just use your ammo. I'll be here waiting for you when you're done. And it looks like the little Skink is going to be charging into the werewolves here, but it's certainly a dangerous proposition as the Maws of Savagery are no mere werewolves. They are quite powerful indeed. And I think that's going to be army losses for Hyali. He's going to get a nice Windblast there. That was certainly a very good cast. But yeah, the Skink Priest is broken. Krokar is going to have to come in at this point. And yeah, I think that's game. I mean, it's going to be army losses here. Ammunition's running sparse. Lizards have a ton of stuff all over the battlefield, but yeah. Ooh, man, and the Skink Priest goes down. And Vios with a 2-0 victory. Very impressive for sure. He's going to be advancing on to the grand finals to face his clanmate. So we actually have 2 ODM players here in the finals of today's tournament. Certainly a testament to their play. So let's go ahead and update this. Vios with a 2-0 victory. And now, my friends, we shall jump over to the scorecards and update the brackets. But as far as builds go, I like Kelly's build. It's good. It's great. Like, it's his classic hiding playstyle. But the Frost Wolves and just all the mobile pressure, and honestly, the Marauder Champions, there was like nothing to kill them. Like, what in this army can kill the Marauder Champions? Even the Razordons like struggled to get through them. Nasty, nasty stuff. Nasty, nasty stuff. So let's go ahead and go down to the Flash Tournament bracket, where we have Vios facing off against Inticity in the grand finals of today's tournament. Well played to Hel Nal. Hyali saying he messed up. You played well. A good sport indeed. And now, let's go ahead and get Inticity in here. So Inticity, if you are watching, please join. We'll get this party started. All right, so I'm going to tag him in the Discord. All right, very good. So Inti is going to be joining to face his mighty foe here. And we'll update this. And update these scores as well. Now we'll switch on back over to the battle scorecards. We'll update that. And very good. So here we go. Inti is here. He's got his trusty vampire coast selected. Always a telltale sign of what's to come. And what do we want to put him on for maps? Probably. Let's put him on some goodies here. We could do Tower of Oath. Yeah, map set. He says, why, hello there. ODM Civil War. Well, who's Captain America and who's Iron Man? It turned out it was the final transmutation that killed the dinosaurs. Mark Runyon says, I know it isn't your thing, but would you consider playing head-to-head with Loreful Cetra mod? I don't know. Yeah, I don't really do the modded gameplay too much, honestly. Because, like, I don't know. In game 1, I did it a little bit, like with the Chaos Dwarf mod, but I don't know. I'd have to think about that, Mark. Maybe. John123, you almost got me with your name again. Smash that like button to wish Turin a happy birthday. Thank you for the donation, even though it's not my birthday, but I will take it. Thank you so much. And Inti is going to go greenskins and ban... What shall he ban? What shall he ban this day? You will find out. He's thinking about it. He's scratching the itch. You can see the ... that infers deep thought. John123, thank you so much for the donation, man. Really do appreciate that. That's very generous of you. It's very generous, my friend. Forces of Order, I mean, yeah, the Order factions are good. I mean, Dwarves and Empire certainly have some great matchups. Empire doesn't really have any bad matchups, in my opinion. I mean, not too many. Dwarves is a bad matchup for Empire. But, yeah, I mean, Bretonnia is probably on the weaker end of the spectrum. But, yeah, honestly, they do fine. It's just these players' playstyle. Hey, Trey Davis, thank you for becoming a member. I love the Dave Chappelle picture you have there. Reminds me of my high school days watching the Dave Chappelle show. Thank you so much, man, for becoming a member, Trey. Yeah, people. So for anyone who's tuning in for the first time, it's a running gag on my streams where people just say it's my birthday and donate saying it's my birthday. So then when people watch the video afterwards, everyone's like, oh, happy birthday, Turin. And it's just like, it's not my birthday. It's a running gag. Yeah. It's kind of like how I haven't downloaded Tic-Tac-Toe yet. It's just like a meme that's just too good to pass up on, I suppose. My actual birthday is July 12th. Yeah. Skulls for the Skull Throne. There probably will be some, I would imagine. We'll find out. We will find out. Looking good. Oh yeah, Vios has been playing forever. Yeah, I think he took a break from the game, but he's certainly a very good player. So Inti going greenskins versus Skaven. Oh, this will be interesting. I'm curious how Inti will play this. The new greenskins. Probably, maybe some Stone Trolls. I could see some Stone Trolls being picked. It's pretty gangster, yeah. Video, James, there's no prerequisites. Anyone can join my tourneys. Obviously, Everchosen and things like that are like invitational tournaments. So they're more like showcases. So it's a different thing. But most community tournaments, including mine and the ECLs, are 100% open for anyone to join. And someday down the road, I would like to make it. I would like to get to a point where somehow we can have the Everchosen be a qualifier system. That's what I want to work towards. I don't know if it'll be something I can make happen, but I'm going to try my best to. Yeah. It's not my birthday. It's not. It's not. Maybe I'll download Tic-Tac-Toe when Warhammer 3 comes out. Yeah. That'll be the first campaign. Instead of all the cool campaigns they offer in Warhammer 3, I'm just going to play Tic-Tac-Toe. We need to ignore my actual birthday. Been watching for a long time. Feels nice to finally give back. Rick James would want it this way. He would. Oh my god, the Rick James, Dave Chappelle stuff is so good. Like when he stomps the couch, that's like one of my favorite things ever. I remember when my friends and I were 18 or 19 years old, we were at a house party. And this was what, 2007? Yeah, and one of my friends got like really drunk. And he basically went outside in this guy's house. He got like his shoes covered in like mud and dirt. He went in and he laid on the couch and did the exact Dave Chappelle stomp your couch bit. He said the exact words. He stomped the guy's couch with like, it was, yeah, man, it was surreal for sure. Definitely, I mean, even the guy who was throwing the party was laughing because he was a huge Chappelle fan and of course a friend of ours. So It was really funny. Yeah. And he actually looks a little bit like Dave Chappelle, the friend of mine, so it was pretty hilarious. Oh, those were some times. So it's Greenskins versus Skaven here. The habitual line stepper. Yeah, Charlie Murphy. The habitual line stepper. Yeah, man, I love it. Oh man, that's so good. The Prince bit is so fun. Game blouses. And I love when they talk about like playing Prince in basketball and he like makes them pancakes after he beats them. It's just like, oh god, it's like the funniest thing ever. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the ring punch to Charlie Murphy's face with you, and it's the Unity ring. Oh, that was so good. Yeah. So here we are, my friends. We're in the grand finals of today's tournament. This is best of 5. Let me make sure both players know this. This is best of 5, by the way. Just so they can kind of plan accordingly, because it can change your picks and bans in a best of 5. Hey, Tobias, how's it going, man? I love the what's it called? The bit where he goes on Fear Factor, where Dave Chappelle's character goes on Fear Factor, and he's like, Joe Rogan's on there. It's like, goddamn, Joe Rogan. Yeah. What did the 5 fingers say to the face? And he slaps him. Yeah. Man, that show was so good. Like, so many of those skits just would not fly today. They would just be like, people would just not put up with that, you know? Yeah. Lord Inquisitor Ignis, I'm eternal. Hey, man, I guess so. The wife swap skit, yeah, that was really good. And like the NBA draft, the Dave Chappelle like NBA draft one. Yeah, that was funny. Oh, we haven't seen any Wood Elves today. We saw some really good High Elf play from Vios. He did come in with a really cool Ranger build. He had like Rangers and Warlines and what else did he have? Rangers, Warlines, Lothern Seaguard, and Archers with the Manticore Summoner from High Elves, which is just crazy, and a Lithanar. It was really good. That was one of the earlier games in today's stream, so you can go back and check that out. Yeah. I actually think I might try out the new Necrons, yeah. 9th edition Warhammer, I'm so excited. Like, although I need to finish painting my Death Guard. My Death Guard collection is like 95% painted. There's literally like 6 Plague Marines just sitting there staring at me waiting to be painted, but my like crippled hand is just like so slow, and oh god, it triggers me so hard. I just like stare at them every night. I'm like, oh god, I want to paint you guys, but I can't. Yeah. Yeah, 90s and early 2000s sketches were really good, for sure. We're more risky than a Flying Taco meme build. Yeah. Heartsick Ruben, hey man, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, the Elithanar gameplay was really awesome. So it looks like Vyosh is ready. Inticity is making the final tweaks to his build, perhaps. They know it's the grand finals. This is a qualifier for the major tournament. So how it works is, ECL has 8 qualifiers. The winner of each qualifier goes to a grand final, basically an ever chosen, where we have a prize pool ranging from $200 to $500. This season will probably be much bigger, the prize pool. So, but each qualifier does have a prize as well. It's a much smaller prize, but there still is one as well. So the players are playing for prize money today. I don't know if they even know that. It was at the very, very bottom of the rules. So, yeah. Because last time Soothsayer won, and I sent him his prize money. He's like, there was prize money for that tournament? I was like, yeah, there is. All right, guys, and here we are. It is time. We're on the Tower of Hoeth, a very majestic map indeed. No high elves to be found here, though. It's going to be a battle between 2 very different forces. How old am I? I'm 31. It's not actually my birthday, but I will be turning 32 in July. I think. I actually have to pause and think about how old I am now. When you get into your 30s, it just kind of all blends, to be honest. It's like, oh yeah, I guess I'm like 33 now, 31, who knows. I don't know, yeah, honestly, because like, do I prefer fantasy or 40k? Well, as far as like lore goes, I prefer the Warhammer Fantasy lore, but for 40k, like, I'd rather play 40k because obviously, like, Warhammer Fantasy doesn't really exist at the moment, except for like very limited play groups. So I prefer playing 40k. I like 40k a lot. It's really fun, like the gameplay. All right, guys, and here we are in the battle. So it's going to be Azag up in the sky, but despite bringing Azag, Inticity did not bring any of his new items, which I'm really surprised about. I think maybe at least bringing the one that does a constant melee attack buff to nearby troops would be worth it, including his own self, but I guess he's opting to go very wide instead. So for Inticity's front line, it's going to be Goblins into the Sunset, 3 groups of Goblin Archers. Orc Biggins, Orc Biggins, Orc Boarboy Biggins. Just tons of them. Man, he's got 4 Orc Boarboy Biggins. So just a super wide, thick army with Azag. No new units. Just straight down to business. He probably has the AP Colonies. That's probably the only kind of newish thing he's using here. And now for the forces of the Skaven. You know who I actually think is really good in this matchup is Grom the Paunch. I think Grom is an absolute ace. He's got Gutter Runners. He's got a front line of Skaven Slave, secondary line of Storm Vermin. Actually, wow, triple Storm Vermin. That's cool. Double Assassin, Rattling Gunners in the back, so it looks like Rattling Gunners making a comeback, guys. He does have Lord Scroll-Daddy there as well, ready to battle Azag up in the sky. And there's also a bit of a Vanguard, so there are some Wolf Riders and Fanatics deployed back here for your boy Anticity. Yes. Good luck, have fun. Both players are ready. Let's do it to it. Yeah, when Fantasy does come back, I'll play the hell out of it. I have an Empire army. I have Karl Franz, I have Volkmar the Grim. I'm trying to find Marcus Wolfhart, but he's out of print, so obviously it's kind of tricky. I know, I must be like 90 by now with all these birthdays. I know, you guys are like, this is going to be so much psychological torment you guys put me through with the birthday thing that I'm going to like actually forget how old I am. I'm just going to be like a broken man with a mullet. Jose, you just need to be in my Discord when I announce it, yeah. So we'll be dropping links over the course of the stream, so yeah, stay tuned, brother. All right. So the players are scheming. There are Fanatics in the back deployed here from Anticity, which I like because even if a Skaven player is defending like an artillery piece or a gun piece with like some good troops, you can actually blast them down with Fanatics if you get a really good ambush. Yeah, it's a cool build. So we have Thomas predicting an easy greenskin victory. I certainly wouldn't say it's going to be easy if he does achieve victory. But it's a good army. You know, he's got the Biggins here. Both players very, very competent tournament players, as you've seen. I mean, making it to the top of a 65-man tournament filled with great competitive players. Certainly quite the accomplishment for sure. We'll see what happens. I'm really surprised though there's not some unique Azag items. I really think the one item's at least worth bringing. The armor and melee defense one against Skaven probably wouldn't bother with that, but the one that gives melee attack I think is pretty good. Even for himself, you know, it just gives him like what, 10 melee attack or something? I mean, that's really, really strong. Yeah. Yeah, Daniel Hammer says, I get you. When I turned 25, I just kept telling people I was 24 because you would just forget. I know. It's not as important, right? When you're in like your late teens and early 20s, like, you know, something like 20, 21, 22, it's like, you know, 21 is like a bit of a benchmark here in the States because you can like go, you know, do a drinking and go out to bars and things. So you have those benchmarks, but there's not really any benchmarks. Like after you hit the big 30, it's kind of like, yeah, the benchmarks just kind of fade into obscurity. Player's still setting something up. Not sure what's taking them. Hopefully they're not waiting for me. Do I have a screen blocker up or something? It doesn't look like it. Yeah, who knows? Maybe these players just very, very finesse-based here. Trying to get the perfect positioning, just that sweet spot. Oh, yeah. Stretching those old hands out while we wait. Double Assassin's pretty good, though. Certainly gives you some stopping power. It would have been kind of funny to see like a Grimgore pick. Although Grimgore would probably be pretty terrible against Skaven, like Rattling Gunners and like Assassins gooning him with Liber Bubonicus. Like, get out of here. I actually think Grom the Paunch would be really good, though. Grom would be super obnoxious, like, because he's a chariot. He can wreck Footlords, like Assassins. He regenerates if you try and snipe him. Yeah, I actually think Grom the Paunch could be super good in this matchup. Yeah. That would be quite neat. Always. No need to wait for me, ever. I just told them no need to wait for me, ever. I think they might have been waiting for me. Yeah, who knows? All right, here we go, guys. Battle's underway. The mighty Goblin Hordes shall be advancing forward to meet the Skaven battle line. Skaven coming in with a bunch of Rat Ogres. Rat Ogres will beat down Orc Boys and Goblin tier troops. Goblin Archers certainly will put some hurt, and the Orc Boy Biggins, if they get the square charges on the Ogres, the charge bonus can certainly melt them as well. Now we have the rear pressure coming in. We have the Moon Howlers. We do also have the Night Goblin Fanatics coming in the flank. Azag's got to be careful, though. Teethbreakers are here. They're currently visible. Yeah, they haven't used their smoke bomb to hide, I don't think. Did he actually cut that? Oh, those are just Rattling Gunners. Okay, they're not the Arwar, so they're not going to be stalking around. This is actually kind of a cool bait, though. I like that Vios has left the Eshin Triads back here because it looks like the Rattling Gunners are open. So, you know, Anticity is going to be moving in as if they're, like, fresh fish, right? And then the Eshin Triads can, like, pop out and, you know, defend them, which I think is very cool. And it looks like the Skaven are going to be taking the very aggressive approach here. We have some Skaven slaves attacking to AP Gloonies. And the Fanatics were actually used against Storm Vermin and did some big damage. It didn't kill any models, but did about 20% HP. So that's pretty good. AP Gloonies certainly paying for themselves here. And the Rattling Gunners are now shooting at the Boar Boys. But look at this. The Moon Howlers actually did get onto the Rattling Gunners here. But the Eshin Triads are there to intercept, as are the Rat Ogres. So the Moon Howlers are going to be forced back pretty quickly. And the damage to the Rattling Gunners is pretty minimal, so honestly, it's just a bit of a wash there. Now we have a flank fight. We do have the double Boar Boy Biggin squad going after the Gutter Runners and also charging into the Ogres. But the Skaven are closer with reinforcements. If the Rattling Gunners are able to turn and start shooting at these Boar Boys here, that could be very problematic. I mean, the Boar Boys are certainly not designed to be taking that kind of a hammering. The Biggins, of course, don't have shields. The standard Orc Boar Boys do, so that would help them. But yeah, it's pretty nasty. A lot of damage starting to pour in. Might even allow the Rat Ogres to win the fight. We'll see. The Boar Boy's doing a good job here, tying up Gutter Runners. Now the Fanatics are coming in, and it does not look like Vios is really defending here. So, yeah, the Fanatics will be able to get past the Rat Ogres, probably. On the flank here, we do have some more Orc Boar Boy Biggins coming in. It looks like Azag able to help overwhelm the Skaven Slaves here. And now the Wa is active. So the Wa charge here, these pigs are quite strong. 40 weapon strength, 46 melee attack, anti-large. Definitely going to wreck these Rat Ogres, especially with Azag coming in. And that's where the item could be useful. The slashes, or whatever it's called. Who knows? So the Goblins are, overwhelming the flanks pretty hard. The pigs are doing their thing, and now we have two Fanatics coming in. Skaven are winning the front line, more or less. The Storm Vermin investment able to deal with the Orc Boys, but my concern is that Storm Vermin will simply be cycle charged and or Fanatic down. The Fanatics will be super useful against those elite troops here. And you can see the Rattling Gunners are running for the hills, trying to get back to their reinforcements, but there are some angry pigs nearby. The Orc War Boys should be able to engage here and probably take those Rattling Gunners out. Now here we have a big fight as well. We have the Moon Howlers, we have the Orc War Boy Biggins, but Azag with the Terror Routes is quite nasty. Eshin Triads are broken, pretty expensive unit, easily going to be able to chase us off. Skaven Gunline's compromised. And honestly, even though the bounce power is even now, I think you guys are going to see in a minute, it's going to start reflecting the Greenskins ahead, I think. I mean, the Rattling Gunners, I guess these Storm Vermin are making a really good hold, and they are up to a fair amount of kills, and you have to mind the double Assassin as well. Maybe if Vios can start to stabilize these gunline units, maybe just get the Rattling Gunners stable. But there's so many Night Goblins, and I guarantee you... Oh, and look at the Fanatics tearing through those Storm Vermin right there. But oh no, they're going back into the Fanatics. Oh, and the Fanatics get clobbered as well. Very wild stuff. Very inaccurate. Yeah, the Storm Vermin just have... They buckle too easily. You can see these Storm Vermin here might actually just break to just stay in combat versus Orc Biggins. Which I guess Orc Biggins hit very hard. So now we have big old Azag coming in. Not really sure what he's engaging on. It looks like he's attacking some of the basic Storm Vermin who are broken now. And yeah, now the elite troops for the Skaven are broken, and you can see the bounce power is starting to show Anticity pulling ahead here. But the Lieber in the Assassin play, he might be able to get him. Rifle High Talisman, Assassin's Trophy. Azag is taking quite a bit of damage from that Lieber, but he is able to get away there. Aspect of the Dread Knight does give him terror, but more importantly, it gives him 8 leadership here. So it keeps him from breaking. I think that was a big catch for the Skaven, potentially, if they could have like snared him down or something. Maybe replace one Assassin with like a Howling Warp Gale or something in a Mortis Engine character, but yeah. Azag's able to get away, which is going to be very, very rough here for the Skaven. But the Skaven do have a nice central force, the double Assassin and some Clan Rat summons. But yeah, the thing is Anticity just has such a massive advantage in mobility. So he can basically just send in chaff units to fight these Skaven characters, use his pigs and Azag to make sure nothing comes back for the Skaven, like nothing. He shouldn't allow anything. He's got the Orc Boar Boy Biggins here. Granted, I mean, maybe they'll get back some of these Eshin Triads. Moon Howlers are chasing down in the distance over there if you guys look in the corner of the screen. And yeah, I don't know. I don't see this Skaven enduring this. Like, because now Azag, like, since they're surrounded, he can just come in and butter Skrulk's bread. Like, Skrulk is going to be turned into some rotten cheese bread. He's just going to get cycle charged here. A nice little scorch going down from Skrulk Daddy, able to get through some of those Gabos. Orc Boys charging in, and the Rod of Corruption used by Skrulk certainly did some okay damage. But Azag he's just biding his time. Yeah, just let the Biggins, like, chop on these lightly armored Skaven characters. Skrulk has 30 armor. Assassins have, like, I think 30 as well, or like 20, something really low. Yeah, it's 20. So the Biggin should be able to chop them. The pigs are just cleaning up shop, just charging down all the Eshin Triads here. You can see, yeah, the Eshin Triads probably going to get broken by repeated cycle charging. Ooh, the Rattling Gunners have actually come back from Vios. Anticity better see this. Yeah, those Rattling Gunners are going to wreck a lot of stuff if they get to shoot. Maybe actually get the Skaven back in the game. Because the balance of power is pretty close. It's just ever so slightly favored here for Anticity. And here, the Eshin Triads use a Concealment Bomb to de-aggro Azag here, but Azag's going to probably see them. The Piggy's going to be running into Gutter Runners. Here comes some Wild Hogs. Squeal and Swee Pig as they charge in. And really wrecking those Skaven Gutter Runner units. They are shaken. They're probably going to get terrified by Azag here once again. And some of the brave fanatics of the Goblin Empire are going to be going out here. So these Gutter Runners, or Rattling Gunners, excuse me. Rattling Guns have pretty much been 100% shut down. Yeah, Fanatics should be able to do that. Although maybe some Storm Vermin can save them. They say that Storm Vermin can save us. And the Assassins still in combat, doing pretty well against the Biggins. Skrulk able to break down those units, but he's very, very low after fighting Orc Biggins. Goblin Archers are cleaning up shop, but look at this Skaven actually pulling back the bounce of power. Those Assassins and Skrulk need to be dealt with. Oh man, and Azag is really low from after fighting those Eshin Triads. Oh my god, this would be a crazy comeback from Vios. I 100% felt like the Greenskins were ahead in this game, but yeah, Spirit Leech you can see immediately just tilts the bounce power back towards the Greenskins. as Lord Skrolk is broken. So now it's the 2 assassins, and they will do pretty well in combat here, but Skrolk Daddy being broken is quite punishing for sure. He needs to make sure to finish him, though. Like, Azag needs to chase down that rat. He may have another Libra Bubonicus in the back pocket, more summons, things that could be quite nasty for sure. Storm Vermin are chasing over here, trying to peel off those Night Goblin fanatics, but the Rattling Gunners are going to be caught. And some of the piggies are going to be getting in there, but a couple of them do get Last Samurai on the approach. But I don't know, maybe these Storm Vermin, I mean, there's 52 of them. Storm Vermin have always felt like you're just a terrible unit. They get charged, 10 leadership, might be able to beat those boars, but yeah, the Rattling Gunner position is overwhelmed. And it looks like the Greenskin Wa is going to be able to come in, probably clean up these Skaven lines. I don't know. Azag flying overhead, being an evil cackling wizard. That's pretty much his thing anyways. In lore, he's kind of an evil cackling death magic orc. I believe he's wearing the Crown of Nagash, which or something like that, where I think like Nagash actually like speaks to him in his head or something. That's why he can use the death magic. So this is smart here. If you guys see what Anticity's doing, he's basically just sending in his troops and letting them fight instead of blobbing up. So he sends in a couple, sends in more, he's sending in reserves, which is good. The other ones can then rest, while the Orc Biggins can just, get their steady damage against these assassins here. And it's only a matter of time before army losses, because what's going to happen is Azag will fly in, and the assassins are not immune to psychology, so they'll probably just get terror routed as soon as he rear charges them, since they're both very low and tired at this point. And the Rattling Gunners are pushed off, and that is going to be a victory for Anticity and the Greenskins in Game 1. Yeah. Well played. That was a really, really close game. I actually thought that Vios might pull it back at the end, but the Spirit Leech sealed the deal. Skrolk Daddy was banished by some foul magic of the Greenskins there. So Anticity will go up 1-0 here. There he goes. A glorious victory indeed in this best of 5 showdown. So let's go ahead and jump back in. We'll pick the map for the next one. We'll get these players going. We'll do Valley of Thieves next. Map set. All right, cool. As getting in there. Yeah, Storm Vermin are pretty janky units. I don't know, but they actually have a niche against Greenskins for sure, because if they go with like Savage Orcs or Biggins, Storm Vermin's armor actually lets them trade and effectively in some of those engagements. So we had a donation from Gallahan during that game. My apologies for missing that. Let's get Turin his new hands and his 11th birthday this week. Oh, Jesus. Thank you, Gallahan, for the 15, man. Much appreciated. Much appreciated, my dude. Yes. And yeah, man, hopefully you're enjoying the stream. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream. Anticity, going to be taking a quick break, running to probably get some water or something like that. So in the meantime, we can just hang out and chat. Yeah, the Skaven, that build was cool by Vios. I don't know, but against Greenskins, I guess he had a Daka line, but against Greenskins, yeah, I really like to use like Mortis Engine, Plague Furnace type stuff. It just wrecks the Greenskin infantry, like just wrecks them. Like more of a Death Star style of play. I always like struggle to go wide against Greenskins because like their swarming is really good. Yeah. It's tough. It was a proper WoW, though. It was a fair game. It was close. It was back and forth. And Greenskins, he didn't even use anything new, really, except the Fanatics, which were really effective against Storm Vermin, actually. So, yeah, I think that was a big factor. A lot of the Storm Vermin kind of got wrecked by the Fanatic play. Yeah, Vios on an absolute tear today as well. If we look, he played Hel Nal, had a 2-0 victory. He played V-Claw with a 2-0 victory. He played Narim. He played Zero, another really solid player. A 2-1 victory there. And Vios actually had a 2-1 against Narim as well, who I believe is newer to the tournament scene, so very well played there. And Odium Vios's first game versus Healthmeyer was a 2-1 as well. So a lot of very close games with him. Anticity earlier on played Outer Region. He played Vicious Satsuma with a 2-0, Outer Region with a 2-0. Had a very close series versus Hadries and a 2-1. And then Anticity also beat Pacifist Warlord 2-1 and played Iron in the first one 2-1. So yeah, pretty much like all their earlier games were 2-1 series. Like really, really back and forth stuff. Yeah, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff indeed. All right. Looks good. Cool. So, Anticity's back. Vios is going to ban Vampire Coast and pick... Wait, Vampire Counts and pick Vampire... Wait, no. He bans Coast and Pirates and picks Chaos. And then Anticity's going Dwarves. All right. I always felt like this is a Chaos-favored matchup, but, of course... You saw how he plays gun lines with Coast. He probably does the same thing with Dwarves. So we'll see how this goes. See how this goes indeed. I don't agree that they overbuffed the Greenskins and High Elves. I think this is one of the more balanced patches they put out. I think Greenskins still have many of their same weaknesses, but have a couple more tools to deal with some stuff. I mean, I think a couple abilities might be slightly overtuned, but I don't think it's made Greenskins as a whole OP. Like, I've seen Greenskins lose a ton of games and win many. Yeah. Greenskins weren't bad before either. They weren't like top tier, but Vios says this game will be quite long. No problem. You do you, man. Don't worry about just put on the best show you can. And if you guys are enjoying the stream, please do drop a like. Helps me out quite a bit. I always dislike asking for likes, but it does help out and lets the algorithm know that the stream is popping in. Sends more people over to join the community. Zero says Vios beat you with chaos. Smiley face. Wow. Yeah, Zero, you had a 2-1 series versus him. That's pretty good. You guys are both really good players. Could have gone either way, I'm sure. But yeah, a lot of contested games today. Very scrappy. No worries, guys. Oh, Hot Bingo. They will come in time. Don't you worry. They will come in time. All right, just checking some messages I got. All right, we're all good. I don't think I missed anything urgent there. Perfect, Anakin. Perfect. So yeah, it's going to be Dwarves versus Chaos. Obviously, this used to be just like Chariots, but you know the Dwarven Air Force has gotten scarier, and I think we could see some suppression Dwarves. Like maybe a wild Gyro Bomber could be cool. Gyro Bombers actually do have suppression now, so they can actually like lay some heavy AP fire down and slow things down, which could be useful. But honestly, I think Anticity will probably just bring like a million Thunders, Runes of Wrath and Ruin, and like maybe some Longbeards and Dwarf Warriors. I think that's kind of his style of play, but I could be wrong. Gyrocopters have really made a big comeback and are very, very strong for sure. Very, very strong for sure. The like button activated. Chaos versus Dwarves, yeah, it is a grindy matchup. I mean, any matchup versus Dwarves is often quick. I think I've seen some Dwarf losses that were stomps maybe from Beastmen who just like overwhelmed them with summons, but typically Dwarf matchups, even if you like are just getting wrecked, like they still take time because of how tanky they are, and you have Slayers and, you know, unbreakable units and things like that. Yeah, so each qualifier, the winner of the qualifier qualifies. But again, you can try every week. So there's 8 qualifiers, and the player who wins, so the individual who wins a specified will qualify for the grand finals of our competitive circuit. Yeah. Hey, Dominic Roy, thank you for the 50. Canadian Bucks, really appreciate it. He says, cheers, Turn, big fan here. I should really get back into Warhammer 2 sometimes. You should, man. Join our Discord. Come hang out and get those reps in, man. Hit the streets. Hey, thank you so much, Dominic Roy, for that very generous donation. Means a lot, man. And yeah, hope to see you back in the game. If you're taking a break, you should. Now's a good time. This DLC is great. I've been enjoying it quite a bit. The campaigns are really fun. And obviously the multiplayer stuff is cool, too. I really like what High Elf's got. The Lions and the Rangers. Grom the Paunch. So our system is... oh, they're doing the double bans. I should warn them. Okay, so... I totally forgot to mention that. So after this game, go to single bans. That's fine. So they both will do... they'll both do a double ban for the first game, because doing double bans all through a best of 5, you can kind of like, it gets a little bit ridiculous. So after this gun, we'll go to single bans. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay, cool. To join the tournaments, you just got to be in the Discord channel. If we have some mods still hanging out in chat, if you guys could drop a link to the Discord, that'd be greatly appreciated. But if they're not here, I'll do it after this game. Yeah. 27 is Count Dooku's birthday. How is that even a thing? Are you talking about the actor? Garland Green, how's it going? Started a Dark Eldar army in 40k. It's a lightning fast troops with poison. Yeah, Dark Eldar are really cool. Just get a bunch of Venoms and load them up and just troll with tons of stuff like that. Yeah, do it to it. How much are they allowed to spend on their armies? So in traditional multiplayer, it's 12,400 gold. So if you guys are like in a custom battle, kind of build, you know, working with builds and things like that, it's 12,400. We do use a custom tournament rule set called the Banner Rules, and those are also linked in the Discord as well in the rule section, so you guys can check them out. All right. Professor Pone, the tournament Discord, the Turin multiplayer Discord. Yeah. Thank you so much, man. Really do appreciate it. 12,400 gold. Yes, sirree. That is the amount they're allowed to spend. Yeah, good old Christopher Lee. Yep, gyrocopters and a gyro bomber. Oh, man, I'm prophetic. Yeah, that's great. Look at this. He's got a cannon in the back, Grom Riddle the White Dwarf with Smoke Bomb, Longbeards and Dwarf Warriors, Slayer support, Iron Drakes, Neurogrimlings, Ironbreakers, and a massive erect Dawi Air Force. So triple gyrocopter with the brimstone gun, and also the gyro bomber with its new suppression mechanic. So if you guys haven't seen this, gyro bomber has a new ability where it is right here, yes. So it lowers the speed of its target by 36%. That is some gangster stuff right there. Hell yeah. Now for Chaos, pretty traditional. Chaos Marauders and Warriors, I would imagine, in the front. It's actually Marauders with Grey Opens into the Sunset. He does also have some Demon Spew on the far side. Now the reason why you bring Forsaken in this matchup is because they kill Slayers very efficiently. So you use these guys to fight the Dragonback Slayers. A couple Chaos Chariots, Manticores to disrupt the Air Force. And up in the sky, he does have a Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Shadows on a Manticore. Yeah, more Chariots too. I think he has 2 in total. No, 4 Chariots. The Gyrocopters are quite good against Chariots, though. Yeah. The next qualifier will be next week, probably on the weekend. So not this weekend, but it will be the following weekend, either Saturday or Sunday. So that is a lot of copters, yes. And I really think that's kind of becoming the meta for dwarves. Gyrocopters are really annoying to deal with. They're very fast. They have like 100 speed, yeah. 105. Gyro Bomber is a little slower, but it can still kind of outpace a Manticore, so. No, this isn't a meme, guys. Anticity is not meming. This is serious. What kind of a cannon does he have? Is it an organ gun? No, it's a regular cannon. So yeah, the Chariots, I mean, honestly, if he just pounds the Chariots down with his gyros, like, he'll win the game. Like, Marauders will buckle against Ironbreakers and Longbeard, so. Gyro Bombers are making a comeback. I actually played a game against Grom Brindle. He's a very good Polish player, and he, against my Greenskins, he used 2 Gyro Bombers, and I was like, what the hell are these things? And they actually did really well against me, and like suppressed many of my units and killed my pump wagons, and yeah, so they can do work. It's not a meme anymore. No, it's not. I mean, now that they have a slow, I mean, that's so good for dwarves. And when the Chariots like dive in deep, you know, there's Dragonback Slayers plus Gromby Smoke Bomb for AoE snare. Grombrindle, the Dwarven Lord, does indeed have a snare. It's a really wide build for sure. I mean, that's pretty standard. The one thing I'm surprised we don't have is Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes. The throwing axes are really good against gyros. I mean, the Manticores will be good, but I think Anticity's micro should be fine. Like, he can kite them and crossfire them. I don't think he's going to have too many problems. Yeah. It is pretty scary. All the Chaos players in chat are trembling at the might of the Dawi Air Force. Where is he going to go with them, by the way? So Cannon shoots in, unleashes a shot on the Chaos Warriors with Grey Open. So it is a combination of Marauders and Warriors. I would imagine the Cannon will probably switch onto the Chaos Sorcerer here in a moment. And man, he's going to rampage this Manticore probably with a couple volleys. Yeah, oof, oof, just a big old oof. Yeah, it's going to rampage quick. It gets suppressed as well, so it gets brought down to 54 speed. So if he can like pull it to his army and then rampage it, it'll basically fly down and just meet its end at the Slayers. It's very micro-intensive to manage all these gyros, but yeah, it's already rampaged. So now you just kite it. Just kite it back and lure it to your army, and hopefully it'll dive to its demise here. Melkoth's being used to slow, but honestly it's not going to be worth it. It's almost worn off, and the Manticore got like 1 attack on it. I would definitely save the magic for like pendulums and more effective spells. You could also fly the gyrocopter over his army and pull the Chaos Lord into the Iron Drakes with the Trollhammer Torpedoes. And look at this, the freaking Manticore is destroyed already. The Gyro Bomber and the Royal Dawi Air Force is just wrecking. What he's going to do is he's just going to send 1 gyrocopter to chase it off, and then the other ones are now going to start shooting at the Sorcerer Lord here. A pretty good pendulum right there. Able to go down to the... Oh man, that was a brutal pendulum on the Ironbreakers. Man, it's like half health. It's a really good play there by Vios. But Anticity's on the hunt. He's chasing down this gyrocopter with the Brimstone gun. This Manticore Lord is, Vios is. The other Chaos Pharaoh Manticore is being chased off, and now the Gyrocopter as well as the Brimstone Guns are going to be switching their sights onto the Gorby's Chariots, which is definitely smart. Gorby's Chariots are a real pain in the butt to deal with, so wearing those down is going to be pretty efficient. The Dawi box is ready to go, too. Trollhammer Torpedoes are shooting into some of the Chaos Warriors, and the cannon for the Dwarves is singing and just pounding into that Gorby's Chariot. And in the back, we have another Gorby's Chariot, trying to get that full surround, but honestly, the Gyrocopters are really just wrecking here. Yeah, that Manticore is pushed off the battlefield. The Dwarven Rotor Blades able to really get them down here. And yeah, farewell, sweet Chaos Feral Manticore. Anticity just with the schemes here. And the Gyrocopter with the Brimstone Gun shooting into the Gorby's Chariot. And that thing's probably going to break here. The cannon is still shooting away and breaking this other chariot. It just looks like a disaster for Chaos. Yeah, the Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes would be pretty useful. They can at least screen the Gyrocopters out. Or at least like give them something to worry about. But in this case, there's not too much. And you can see the bounce power is already pretty substantially in the favor of the Dwarves before the fighting has really even started. But that's the Royal Dawi Air Force for you. And Darth Falcon recovering after slaying all the younglings yesterday. Was that yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday we streamed. But here comes the Warriors of Chaos. They should probably get engaged pretty quick here. The battle's certainly not going too well for them against the Gyrocopters. Although you have to remember, ammunition is a concern. He could run out of ammo here, but you can see the Trollhammer Torpedoes are now shooting. Going to be turning about face, and the first of the Chaos Marauders will be engaging for Dwarf Warriors. And they do have great weapons. So Certainly not going to be terrible for Chaos. And you have to remember, Pendulums will also be very good here. Ooh, man, look at the shots from the Brimstone guns. Not Brimstone, but the Iron Drakes. Pretty cool stuff. So Gyrocopters coming back in. One of them is very low on ammo. That is the Gyro Bomber. But you also have to remember the Gyrocopters do have bombardments. Oh, Smoke Bomb right there. So good. It blocks up both chariots. I'm really just waiting to see some bombardments. Yeah, that's going to be the good stuff. Gorby's Chariot broken down here. Chaos Sorcerer Lord going to be jumping here on the Iron Drakes, which is a really good play. And it looks like, yeah, he's focusing down the other chariots here, which are pretty much almost broken. Gorby's Chariot here in a little bit of trouble. One model left. The Gyro Bomber is about out of ammo, but oh, here it comes, guys. Here it comes. He's going to do it. I can smell it. Oh, dropping bombs here. Getting some work in. You can see the Chaos Marauders being scorched by the glorious Dawi engineering. And the Gyro Bomber still has a lot more ammunition, too, with its bombardments. I would imagine it's going to do it right here. A big Pendulum coming in. This could be pretty good for Chaos. It tears apart the Norgoblins Ironbreakers and also goes into the flank here of the Dwarf Warriors. And the Dwarven box is holding, but it's also getting very beat up. There is probably a slim chance that Chaos could maybe pull this back, although their Sorcerer Lord here is just getting Shrek'd up in the sky. Skull Luck have fun being said by these two clanmates here. And the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Shadows is running, but the constant Gyrocopter anti-large AP fire is going to be too much, and Grombrindle has no fear has been popped, so the entire Dwarven army is unbreakable now. And you can see the bombardments really saturated into those lines, and yeah, man, those Marauder Horsemen got Shrek'd, Chariots are getting Shrek'd, and there's just going to be more and more bombardments, and the Chaos Warriors are all buckling. That's probably going to be game. I mean, it may take another couple minutes to get there, but I just don't see what they can do. The Gyrocopters still have a lot of ammo, too, like these two. Oh, and another bombing run from the Gyro Bomber. Only 3 kills, but yeah, it's certainly doing some big damage against Demon's Spew and the Chaos Warriors here. The Dwarven Cannon is offline, but it's already pretty much paid its toll. Grombrindle's in great shape as well. He's going to be very, very tough to break down. The Dwarven battle lines are breaking in some areas, though. The constant AP damage from the Great Weapons is adding up. It just goes to show that, you know, despite the pounding that Vios's army took, if there had been some more disruption for the Gyrocopters in the form of Marauder Horsemen or Throwing Axes, I think he would have been able to potentially punch through this Dwarven army. But yeah, I mean, he had 2 flying units, but the Manticore going that quickly, like 2 Manticore characters, or 2 Manticores, Exalted Heroes on Manticores, plus like 3 Marauder Horsemen, then just Great Weapons and Chariots, I think is pretty capable of dealing with Dwarves. But yeah, there wasn't enough to deal with the Gyrocopters. You gotta respect him here. And yeah, you can see the Chaos Sorcerer Lord's gonna be breaking. That's probably gonna be army losses soonish, as the Dwarves still have a ton of Longbeards. Grombrindle, the mighty white dwarf down here on the ground, settling some ancestral grudges. Oh, this Demon's Spew is gonna get it pretty good. Oh yeah, look at that. The decapitation uppercut from Gromby. And now he leads the charge back into the fray. Warriors of Chaos still have a lot of stuff left, but how are the Gyrocopters doing? Yeah, the Lord is done now. He's done for. And even if Chaos like killed everything here, basically the bombers could just like bombard while Grombrindle just makes his last stand. Satisfy the grudge! They've wronged us! And there you have it, guys. A Dwarven victory. Anticity goes up 2-0. And now if Anticity does win this, he will qualify. This is a best of 5. This is game 3. Let's update the scoreboard and see if the man, the myth, the legend is able to get there. All right. So for the next map, let's go ahead and pick one that's a little bit more kind of shrouded in mystery and terrain. The Crack of Karkin. I think this is a decent map. We'll do this one. Yeah. I think this one has like a giant hill with like some woodlands on the side, so it opens up some different playstyles. So we'll do the Crack of Karkin. Very good. Yeah, the Gyro Bombers are pretty nasty. Good morning, Carrick Zoom. Yeah. Carrick Zorn, you're saying? Oh, yeah. A little bit good morning Vietnam reference there. Pretty good stuff. They've wronged us. That was a really good Dwarven build. It could be counterplayed for sure. I think you got to respect the air a little bit more. Vios's build was good. It was good against like old style dwarves, like Thunder Lines and stuff, but yeah, not as much anymore. All right, very good. Everything looks solid to me. All right. Just looking at some of the stuff here. Looks good. Awesome. So now for the picks and bans. Anticity's going to go High Elves and ban. I love how there's always a pause. He like picks his faction, then there's like this ... like where he's like, you know, building up hype. Another book, A Grudge Settled, but the Dam's Kron remains full. It does. It does. Like the dwarves being really, yeah. The dwarves certainly had to survive that rush. It's kind of hard to go wide against Chaos, like deploy really wide because the chariots and the swarming. Like it's hard to protect everything, so the dwarven boxes can be strong if you have Gyrocopter support. I believe Anticity's best faction is is Vampire Coast. I think Vios is a really good High Elf player, actually, but Anticity banned High Elves here. Okay, so he went High Elves and he banned Bretonnia. And he bans Bretonnia. Okay, so now Vios gets to play Lizardmen. High Elves actually have some good new tools here. For sure. Emmerich can be pretty good. He's anti-large. Maybe we'll see some War Lions, maybe. I don't know. This will be interesting. Yeah, we got Lizardmen versus High Elves. It's actually the battle I put up today was against Aerocrastic on my channel, and it was the same matchup. It's a really close game we had. Can't wait for Demons of Chaos. I know, Andrew Henderson. It's so awesome, man. I'm so happy Creative Assembly like took Warhammer Fantasy on and just like did it justice. Like I feel like I'm getting to play like Warhammer Fantasy tabletop without having played it here. Yeah. Burnout. If you want to see how these guys play against AI in single player, honestly, you could watch my campaigns. I mean, Micro's probably a little better than mine, but for the most part, it's like, yeah, I play against AI kind of like I do in multiplayer, but you can abuse AI so easily. Like, yeah, maybe I'll make a video on how to abuse AI, but most of you guys probably already know. It's just so, yeah, it's quite ridiculous. For Asurian, for Ulthuan, for the Phoenix King. Yes, we have the High Elves versus the Lizard Men. We've seen some really good High Elf play today. As a matter of fact, in our finals here, we've had High Elves be, well, I think they just won one game, but I heard about some games they did well earlier. They haven't lost yet in the finals. Hey, Taylor Lund. So glad I caught one of these live. Love what you do, man. Keep it up. Taylor, dude, thank you for the donation. $20, man. That's no joke. Do appreciate it. And yes, I will keep it up for you. We'll go hard in the paint. We will go hard in your honor. I hope we see a wild Eltharion pick. I don't think we will, but that would be super cool. You know what? Eltharion against Dinos? Maybe like he trolls Pterodon Riders with Tempest? I don't know. And he has okay AP values. Maybe Eltharion could be viable here. Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. He's too expensive. Andrew Cruz says, hey, Turin, when Demons of Chaos hopefully come, you think it will change the meta? Oh, I mean, God, I have no idea, man. Of course, it'll vastly change the meta. 100%, brother. And yeah, I can't even begin to speculate. Like, who knows what they're going to do? Who knows? Yes, I saw the new Kislev models for Fantasy. They're very cool. I have an Empire army, so when Fantasy comes back, I'll probably play the Sons of Sigmar. I'll probably end up going with an Altdorf paint scheme since I have Franz, so probably go for Altdorf, which is it's basically stripes with red and blue. It's like Altdorf and also the American scheme, so yeah. But I have an Empire army, so look at Karl Franz all painted up. It'll be great. Emmerich versus Dread Saurian. I don't know who would win that, actually. I mean, if Emmerich's on horse, he would probably lose, but if he was on his dragon and he gets like a good breath attack and charge, and yeah, maybe. The Lion King, Narnia. Narnia is pissed off. They're like, we've had so many bad movies. It's time for us to take our vengeance out on Total War Warhammer. Yeah, Eltharion and Double Phoenix can be good against vampire counts. Yeah, Tempest is just so good against vampire counts. And even like, it just forces them out of the air. It's so strong. Turin played a tabletop game, rolled 3 Baneblades and 9 Brusses against Tyranids. 3 Baneblades? Jesus, man. That's madness. Must have been like in a super heavy detachment. Jamrocks, how's it going? I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. All right, start when ready. Start when ready. I'm really curious to see what Anticity brings. I want to be good at High Elves, but I just suck with them. Like, I just can't figure out how to deal with armor with them. Like, armored heavy cav and things like that. Yeah, I thought about doing a Knights of More theme, but the problem is, like, I painted a couple, like, of my units, like, in the Knights of More with, like, the black armor, and it kind of just, like, it looks really dim from a distance. Like, it doesn't pop out. I kind of changed my mind about my scheme. I think I want to do, like, an Altdorf scheme. Or maybe, like, one of the Empire provinces. I'm not sure. Yeah. I could even still give Franz black armor. It wouldn't matter. But, yeah. Oh, man. I'm ready to feast, guys. I'm incredibly hungry right now. I had a couple pieces of toast with almond butter. That's pretty much it. For the whole day. Yeah. 3 Baneblades is pretty brutal, for sure. I remember the first time I played against a Baneblade. I was like a beginner to the game. It was like my 4th game or something. And some dude comes in with a Baneblade. And I just have like a terrible like beginner Death Guard army. And he just pops like Vengeance for Cadia and like nukes like half my army in the first turn. I was like, oh, shit. That's what that thing does. But of course, you know, then once I became a better player, I figured out how to beat Baneblade type units. But in the beginning, I was like, oh my god, that's rough. Yeah, Galahad, Fireborn are quite good. I definitely think Fireborn are really good. Yeah. You think the Golden Order with their yellow, that would pop nicely? Yeah, Golden Order. Hunts Marshal's Expedition could be cool too. I don't have Gelt, though. My army is going to be led by Karl Franz in Fantasy with Volkmar the Grim, maybe, from time to time. So probably should go for more like Altdorf colors. Yeah. The Arwar lines are really good for the slow. I agree. Yes. All right, guys, and here's the army for the High Elves. We got Silver Helms on both sides. We have some War Lions, I believe, for Hager's Pride. No. We got a Mage of Life, and it looks like it's going to be Big Papa Imric up on the Star Dragon. So he's quite powerful. Lord of the Dragons, the Dragon Horn, the Star Lance. He can wreck monsters pretty efficiently, so it's a pretty cool army. I actually like this map. I think it's quite good. Yeah, so he's got Rangers. He's got some Silver and Guard here. Well, Silver and Guard Rangers, and he had some Archers. What kind of Archers were they? Keeps moving his army around. He's trying to hide from me. Yeah, basic Archers. They're just going for volume of fire. So Silver and Guard, Rangers, and Archers. 2 Silver Helms. He's got Imric, a Mage of Life to heal up Imric, which is no surprise, and a couple War Lines as well. Now for Vios, he's got Saurus Warriors with shields, who should bang on the shields of those Silver and Guard quite well. Cohort of Sotek, Heaven's Caster, quite good for clearing out some of the High Elf Infantry. He's got 2 Laser Bastillodons, actually. Krok-Gar on horseback here. Coldland Spear Riders. And on the flanks, he does also have Skink Cohorts with Javelins. Oh, man. It's a nice little army there. It's a nice little army. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that... I mean, I hope that Beastmen and Wood Elves and Chaos will all get the same rework that the Greenskins got. I bet you they will. It's got to happen. It would just be ridiculous to go into Game 3 with Beastmen as they are. Like, their campaign's so haggard, and so is the Wood Elves one. It's just terrible. I mean, I don't know. It's outdated is the correct word. Yeah. They're Dragonborn, not Fireborn. Are you guys trying to mess with me here? They're the Fireborn. Fus Roda. So Imric is coming. The Dragonhorn will be pretty good. I mean, it'll help the Rangers in the frontline fighting. And of course, Imric himself will probably want to pop the Dragonhorn. His mighty Vuvuzela. Oh man, how have we not done that on a thumbnail? A Vuvuzela being played by Imric? Like as he charges? Oh, that's happening. Of all my terrible meme thumbnails, I gotta step up my game. Man. Did I say he was on horseback? he's on dragon. He's the dragon back here. That's pretty funny. So here it comes. The High Elves are rotating into the forest, taking a more defensive posture. Granted, they're going to have to go out pretty quick here because the dinos do have double lasers. And the lasers do magic damage, so the Silver and Guard will actually take less damage due to their magic resist, which is quite good, and also more armor. So Silver and Guard actually very, very durable against laser dinos. But yeah, the High Elves can't afford to camp here for too long. The thing about Imric, too, that really sucks for the dinos here, is Imric actually has pretty massive fire resist. If you look, Imric does have 45% fire res. So his missile plus his fire resistance, he's going to be barely taking any damage at all from the Bastillodon. So Vios should not be shooting Imric. He probably wants to go after the Archers and maybe the Rangers, just kind of wear out down the other elements. But, you know, I'm a little bit concerned about this Dino army. I guess if they get a good surround with their Cold Ones as well as Krok-Gar on his Velociraptor, they could take out Imric. But aside from that, there's not too much to deal with Big Boy. So now the Archers are being shot at. Saurus Warriors are not shielded, actually. So they're going to be taking the full fire there. Yeah, the meme thumbnails, I need to step up my game. I've been pretty lazy with the past couple, though. The Saurus Warriors taking some pot shots, or getting hit with some pot shots, are now falling back, and the Laser Dino's doing a good job. This is what he should be doing. Shooting the Mage, shooting the Archers, shooting Imric with his fire resist. Maybe the Silver Helms wouldn't be a bad target also. Nice shot right there. The Mage is pretty heavily armored, though, so of course the Laser Dinos don't have the best AP values. It still hurts, but it's not going to be as impactful. I think he had the right idea shooting at the Archers here, but I guess he's proving me wrong. Proving me very wrong is the Mage of Life coming over to drop a heal. So we have a big engagement here. We actually have Silver Helms and some War Lines who are 2v1ing the Popcorn cohort, the Poco Pop cohort. Might actually be able to win this fight if the Mage of Life comes over. Does not look like the Dragonhorn has been sounded. I think he's kind of saving that. And where is Imric going to go? On the far side, no engagements yet. High Elves just playing very defensively here. Their Archers still continuing to kind of move up and shoot. And it looks like the War Lines were able to win this engagement more or less with the Silver Helms. Imric's coming now, but there is another flank coming in from the Coldland Spear Riders, who are going to be getting a rear charge, so there is a potential here for a Lizardman sandwich, as the Popcorn cohort could charge in. But Imric is actually able to force those guys back. I actually think the High Elves will probably still win this because of regrowth and Earthbloods, and, you know, what's Krok-Gar going to do? He's going to come over here and maybe, like, fight, but that's Imric. Imric's going to be going balls deep for sure. The war lines are breaking. Earthblood is active though, so the mage is going to be getting healed, the dragon, the silver helms, and it seems like the lizard cav are really taking a huge losing engagement here. Inticity really getting ahead. And he pops the dragon horn, so the horn has been sounded. All these units going to be getting better AP, but very unfortunate for him. It's like right as his troops break, the dragon horn goes off. The lizardmen cav are still holding though, and Krokar is now here. I think Imrik's going to be trying to pull back, and the Mage of Life is going to be able to get away. So honestly, that ended up being a pretty even trade. The lizards did take some damage, but silver helms and war lines were also broken. So in terms of cost, it was a very, very even trade, I would say. On the far side, we have some loose engagements as well. We have the Rangers pushing in, supported by some Silver Helms and Lions. And, the Lizards can only be in so many places at once. Saurus are now advancing. Silver and Guard, with their charge defense against all, is going to be mitigating the charge bonus of 23 of the cohort of Sotek. And, of course, the Archers are really good against Red-Crested Skinks. Those guys are going to get melted. Here comes Imrik. Where's he going to go? I wonder if he's going to go after this caster. Imrik could probably go in and take out the Skink Priest really, really quickly if he wanted to, but it looks like he's going to be coming in trying to save his Mage of Life. Mage of Life taking a little bit of a hammering there from those Bastiladons. Currently, balance of power is even. Nice Wind Blast there from the Skink Caster, able to get on top of those Archers. And it looks like he's going to move in as well, but the cohort of Sotek is just banging on the shields here of the Silver and Guard and doing almost nothing. It definitely feels like Inticity is more in control of this game. The Lizards are kind of playing very reactionary, which I guess is the nature of their build with the Bastiladons, but yeah, the Dragon's going to get the Caster here. I mean, that's probably going to be like a 2 or 3 shot if he makes contact again. You can see the Star Dragon able to leap, and yep, there goes the OP attack animation, and the Skink Priest is done for. That's pretty painful for sure, losing your caster at this point in the game. It's still, relatively speaking, early in the game, and Krokar is punching heavily above his weight class here. Imrik is on a Star Dragon. Imrik is going to be able to wreck Krokar if they stay in combat. Yeah, Star Lance is popped. His weapon damage is 693. He imbues Fire Weakness. Granted, the Bastiladons are helping with a little bit of Overwatch, but Imrik, especially with Silver and Guard support, is going to be able to wreck Krokar in combat if they stay for a period of time. In the back, we have War Lines and Silver Helms doing their thing. Rangers fighting Saurus, but the War Lines are really chewing up the back lines, which means that eventually they will be able to get onto the Bastiladons here. And the Star Dragon does pull back up in the air, trying to maximize its charge bonus, and now it's going to be coming in while the Star Lance is still active, and it's going to make big contact with Krokar. Brutal damage. Krokar is just punished there. Inticity is just on a tear right now, playing very, very well for sure. And yeah, we got Imrik. We got the Silver and Guard surging forward. Here comes the mighty Star Dragon Lord himself, chasing down Krokar, looking for the opportunities. Archers still shooting downtown across the Saurus warriors with shields. But at this point, I mean, I don't know what's going to be able to kill Imrik. Ammo's running pretty low on the Bastiladons. The War Lines in the back were actually pushed off. That's pretty good for Vios. He's able to force down the mobility of the High Elves to at least allow his firepower to keep going. Crocky G was able to actually get some damage on Imrik, but Imrik is his cooldowns are coming up soon. He's got more charges there of the Dragon Horn, and the Lord of Dragons should be able to allow him to win that duel pretty handily. Saurus warriors are broken by the Star Dragon. War Lines of Krace able to feast on the Saurus. As far as skills up to almost 50, which is quite good against the elite Saurus line. Hand of the Gods going down, does blast Imrik for some good damage. Nice cast there by Vios. And it looks like maybe Krokar was thinking about it. No, he's going to be pulling back. He's like, Krokar looks at Imrik, looks at his dragon, then looks down at his poor sad Velociraptor and is like, I probably shouldn't do that. I don't think my Velociraptor can win this. So some Saurus warriors are pushing in, a little bit of High Elf Archer fire peppering them. Silver and Guard should be able to hold them for quite some time. And now Big Papa Imrik is coming in for the Death Thrust. I would imagine he'll probably go after, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. He can go after anything here. I guess just attack this Bastiladon with your Silver and Guard. Look at that. Inticity with great micro. He braces his Silver and Guard, but I don't think he got it quite in time. But that was a really good attempt for sure. Saurus are coming in, and the Dragon pulls back up in the sky. There still are 2 Bastiladons in Krokar. I mean, if Inticity did make some big mistakes with his Imrik and let him get beaten down by Krok, maybe. You also have to remember that the Mage of Life was chasing off the Skink Caster somewhere on the map. I don't know where she went. Probably coming back somewhere, but the Mage of Life for the High Elf should be alive somewhere too, so she's going to come back on her chariot and also be quite good. War Lines are attacking Krok and getting a little bit of AP damage on him, and also finishing off that Skink cohort. Silver and Guard holding. Dragon Horn is active, so Imrik is going to be looking for a fight here, 100%. Yeah, get the War Lines to attack Krokar and then go in with Imrik. That's going to be a good old 1-2 punch. Yeah, Lord of Dragons has been used, but he gets a very awkward landing right there. But he should come around and should be able to catch him here. Oh god, the Star Dragon just takes a huge bite out of Krokar's flank. His melee defense is currently 20. The Star Dragon with an erect 70, 693, charge bonus of almost 100. Krokar is broken, and guys, with that, Inticity is going to be qualifying with a nasty 3-0 sweep there in the finals against his clanmate. Well played to both players. But today, Imrik and the Dragon Horn will be carrying on to the Eternal Challenger League Season 5 Grand Finals. Glorious stuff indeed. So congrats to Inticity, guys. Let's hear a big round of applause to him, and also congratulations to all folks in the top 4 for playing some great games for us here today. So the Flash Tourney bracket, it's going to be Anticity moving on. So well played to Outer Region, Anticity, Vios, and Hel Nal making it to the finals. But today's champion is going to be Anticity with a 3-0 sweep there in the grand finals. Very, very good stuff indeed. Imric doing a great job. Anti-large, really good debuffs, just an absolute beast. And we had a donation as well from during that game from John M. Tenguai. Thank you for the fiber. Awesome content. Always have a great quote-unquote birthday. Thank you, man. That was very, very impressive. It was a great run indeed. Well played to him. So now we go ahead and add his name to the list of ingredients for the recipe for Season 5. Going to be Grom de Ponch, his glorious recipe. I'm sure it's quite good. So, let's go ahead and do this. Anticity is being added to the recipe. And the recipe will make up the grand finals. I hear Wookiee scurrying in the kitchen. Glorious stuff. So far in Season 5, we have Talaxilon, Soothsayer, and Anticity qualified for the grand finals. So perhaps they'll have a showdown. We do have 6 more spots. There's going to be 6 more qualifiers. So make sure to stay tuned for that, guys. It's going to be more or less weekly. Sometimes there will be slight delays. Like this weekend, for example, we'll be having the Ever-Chosen Invitational. But generally speaking, excuse me, I have some water. Generally speaking, it will be almost every week. So this weekend will not have another qualifier. However, the following week, we will have another qualifier that weekend, either on Saturday or Sunday. So if you guys want to play in the qualifiers, let me go ahead and drop a link to the Discord channel. And here we go. 1, 2, and a 3. Cool. So if you guys are looking to play in qualifiers, I've dropped a link in chat. Might get lost in chat there, but you guys can go ahead and join that. And anyone's welcome to join. It's a very fun experience. Very, very good practice indeed. And again, congratulations to Anticity. He has qualified. And all the players that played today, a salute to those who have fallen. You guys put up a great show. Thank you all for putting your time and effort into this tournament and making it a great event for everyone to watch. And now, thank you to all the mods as well. There are no Slanesh bots, but there are bots of other kinds. So mods, thank you guys all so much for helping out today. And last but not least, let's go ahead and go through the donations. Pull those up here. Oh, yes. Unicap should have a unicap of 0 for Imric. Imric was a beast for sure. So, special thanks to John M. Tenguai for donations. Taylor Lund. We also have Dominic Roy, Gallahan, Trey Davis, a new member on the channel, John123, Berlino, Andrew Cohen, Efim Lakubovic. Yes, sorry, I tried my best. Adam T, Soulforged, Brian P. Thank you guys all so much. We have a couple new members in Wonkiness, John McNoll, and Patrick Gannon. Thank you guys all so much for all your support on today's stream. Ben the Barman, please buff me. Dude, I will take some buffs for sure. Let's do it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I had a blast. Until next time, you guys stay safe out there. This weekend, at Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, check your clocks, your time adjustments. We're going to be having Ever-Chosen Invitational. It's going to be on Total War official YouTube channel as well as their Twitch channel. So watch it on whichever platform you prefer. I'm going to be casting with Italian Spartacus. It's going to be quite a bit of fun. So yeah, be there. It's going to be good. I'll be putting up an announcement video with all the details and the maps and all that sort of good stuff very, very soon. All right, guys, that's it for now. Thank you for joining. We'll see you guys next time. Stay safe, have an excellent night, and take care.